Big gangs in New York guy, huh?
When we went on the
no idea.
When we went on the tour, the unsub tour this past fall, like I became obsessed with it, and I just watched it every time we got on a flight. And so the joke was, fine, you've talked me into it. I'll watch Gangs in New York.
For context, we got on 4 flights a week for like 6 weeks straight.
Watch it every time.
Yes.
It was just so. Well, what happened was I'm so tired and exhausted because like the day is long. Like when you do the tour, you show up at like 4, drop your bags, and then we go to the venue, audio check, food. They do the VIP, and then it starts around 8, and then we don't leave till like midnight. So I would only get like 10 to 15 minutes each time to the movie. So I'm just like laid out on the plane.
You Pavloved yourself into falling asleep to this movie.
I did, yeah.
You watched Liam Neeson die a lot of times.
I did. It's rough. I don't know what happens next.
He dies in a lot of movies, though. So
That's
it's okay.
That's his thing for sure.
That is his thing.
But it was just like an ongoing joke. It was like, you've talked me into it.
Liam Neeson, like him. Also the main character in the worst movie ever made.
Which one?
The Gray.
Oh,
You
yeah.
don't like that movie?
I hate that movie.
Why do you hate that movie?
That movie is an hour and a half of edging and not getting to come. It's 90 minutes of I get to see Liam Neeson fight a wolf. No, you don't. Credits. Roll the credits.
That's kind of the idea, though. It's an artistic rendition of
Bull,
what it might be like
that's-
to think about it.
That's like getting
wanna
on
see him kill a
Pornhub
wolf.
and watching a plumber fix a sink the entire time and then he leaves, okay? Ain't nobody came to see how to fix the drain. That's absurd.
What about the electrician fixing the outlet?
Whatever. I don't care what it is.
not
Nobody
that either.
Nobody came to see my fat hairy ass fix an outlet, okay?
That's right. That's right. Well, I like some of the cinematography in that movie, so I'm a little biased, but I see what you're saying. But how was it actually like going on tour and doing things in front of a live audience? Like, because you've had Unsubscribed for a long time. You guys got multiple podcasts. You do one together too, but I always wonder what that dynamic's like because it's way different than sitting in a room like this, obviously.
It might be the best drug I've ever done.
Really?
Like, it's, I mean, just from my perspective, I have the easiest job. I have a bit. I come out and tell it. I have like one thing I have to do. Nick starts off the show. He tells a story, and then I have to wait for my cue, and then I go up there, and then my friends work for an hour and a half, and then we hang out again. But
That's a good job.
it's great. But it just kind of happened naturally, and it's, everyone at Unsubs, we're all like we're very tight. Like our group's really tight. And for me, it's just like the craziest experience. There's no like direct linear path from like getting out of the Marine Corps, going to college, working in healthcare, holding up cardboard, going on tour with your best friends. Like doesn't make sense. And it sounds like a fever dream. Like I have like malaria and I'm like reciting something, but it's just like, it's crazy. The energy in the room's insane. The fans are awesome. And they're screaming at the second you like walk out there the entire time. Like
That's cool.
it's,
I mean, that's
insane.
That's the thing. Like, it's less scary than you think because, like, it's not like being a stand-up comedian, Like, I'm not going out there trying to win over the crowd. Like, the crowd already knows who I am. They already like me. So I just have to show up and meet expectations, which is pretty easy when the expectation is to be yourself hanging out with your buddies and get drunk.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very low bar to make everybody happy. So they're thrilled. It's a lot of fun.
That's cool. Yeah, I see a lot of guys doing that these days. I don't know. Like, I think it's also a different dynamic, too, from the outside when you have, like, a really big, fun group podcast where it's, like, the boys and everything versus, like, one where it's usually me talking with someone else or something like that. I always wondered if it would be like you do 3 hours and you could actually have the same kind of conversation. I don't know. But like if you're drinking with your boys, like you're on a stage, everyone's rowdy in the crowd, that's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, it fits well for Unsub. I don't know how it would fit for like, the Joe Rogan experience or like other podcasts. I think it's very podcast specific, but Unsub is, the whole thing's always been 4 friends get drunk, fly somebody out they want to hang out with. And so it works.
Dude.
It works good.
Where do you guys film out of?
Unsubscribed films out of San Antonio and then Underwhelming films out of Nashville and Iowa.
So you're just bouncing on because you live in Iowa, so you're bouncing around all the time.
I've been in 7 states this month.
Yeah. And I've seen him almost all the trips.
I'll be in Las Vegas tomorrow. Yeah.
Hey guys, 3 quick things. Number 1, if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It's a huge, huge help. Number 2, if you'd like to join my Patreon for early uncensored releases of the full episodes, you can join via the link in my description or in the pinned comment below. And number 3, if you'd like to join my clipping community for a chance to make content from the show and make money, you can join via the Discord link in my description below.
Yeah.
You ever get tired?
Yeah. I'll worry about it later. Yeah.
Yeah, you got a YouTube channel as well you're keeping up with. I mean, that's the one benefit of this. Like, I record here. So we have a lot going on all the time, but I know where I'm at all times. But then I'll have guys like you in, and you know, you guys are flying all over and somehow keeping that balance. I'm not jealous of that part. That's hard.
It's a good time. Yeah. It's a good job.
You get better at traveling. That's probably like there's ways to like relieve pressure, and like it's little things. You get pre-check, you get clear, you fly enough times, you get upgraded. The upgrades turn into more upgrades, and so like those are the things that honestly like mean the most, because like it's little things to be more comfortable that'll like make the whole trip better, at least in my opinion. Because like, you know, if you're scrunched up next to someone, the AC's not working, and you know, it should be illegal to have the windows open on a plane before noon. I don't know who's looking outside of the window. Like this morning, the guy
3-hour flight. It's still white outside.
I don't. The guy, dude, the dude next, the dude at the row across from me was like, wow. He was like looking out, and I'm like, it's the Earth is flat. I don't know what he's looking at, but like it's just, and he was mesmerized by the clouds, and it is not. We took off at like 7.
Oh no!
And the whole time, I'm like, dude, come on. They're even like, we're dimming the cabin lights. He didn't get the clue. He's like, I'll raise the curtain up more, but
yeah, that's the one time in this post-Epstein era where private jets are not exactly in vogue, where I'm like a little jealous of those people, so I don't have to deal with any of that.
It's just weird. You also see like this is a side. I'm always amazed at how blasted people get in the morning for a flight.
Oh, I know.
Like, dude, just to go to like, for instance, does people know where you are?
Yeah.
To go to Newark, like there was a ton of people like crawling on the plane, and I'm like, dude, where are you going?
That's one thing I've never understood. Like, I love going out and having a good time.
Yeah.
I have never had an alcoholic beverage at an airport or on a plane, and like so many fucking people do it. I'm like, I would flip out. Like, that's not for me. Whatever that is, that gene where you could just get loaded on a plane. Don't think that's mine.
I forget where it was either to or from Atlanta. We drank the plane out of Tito's. I know that.
That was from Atlanta.
Yeah.
Do you get like that weird like head high when you're drunk on a plane because your like air is popped and everything?
There wasn't enough Tito's to get us all drunk. I do remember, fun fact, the little shots of Tito's come in like a, like the vacuum sealed Amazon bags.
Yeah.
That's what they come in, because the stewardess literally just brought out the bag and ripped it open and was like, here, and was handing it like it was Halloween. Like, just take what you want. Like, I don't.
That was going to Orlando, wasn't it?
I think
it was going to Orlando.
Yeah, because we played at the Hard Rock.
Yeah, that was, yeah.
The hangover is not worse coming off a plane like that.
You got to stop being drunk to get hungover.
Yeah,
you got to think ahead.
Right. You just got to keep going.
Stay on pace.
Yeah.
But
I'm poor. I'm not stopping.
It's just weird because like I get someone like having a drink, going on a vacation, all that stuff I get, but like just regular normal business suit people blasted at 6 o'clock in the morning fascinates me endlessly.
Absolutely nuts.
And they're like, I'm looking for 4A, and they're just like, they're like all messed up. They can't even lift the bag, which is like the most emasculating moment as a man. Like, if you can't put it up above your head, like your bag, bro,
not great.
That's a rough look.
Yeah, we were lugging around like 50 pounders on all those trains in Italy last week.
Oh yeah, and then every AC unit would just be out, and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna move your seat again."
Yep, boom. But we got it every time. No emasculating moments.
See?
It was good. It was good. But you were saying, Zach, that all these things like kind of happen. Like you come out of the military. We'll come back to that in a minute. And I think you said you were working in healthcare.
Yes.
And then you start holding up the sign, and then somehow everything lines up, and now you're doing tours with your buddies around the world with your bit and all that. Do you ever like pinch yourself like, damn, what if I didn't do that one thing that one day like 7 years ago, and then none of this happens?
I think about that a lot, actually, because of all of our friends, I would say me and Nick had real jobs the longest.
Yeah.
And so there's never a moment where I'm like, this will last forever, or that I take it for granted, because I'm convinced. I was at this one health. So Nashville's the healthcare capital of the world, which is why you either go in the music industry or you go into healthcare. And so I remember sitting in my cubicle and they had a sound machine over each of us that would just play like white noise.
Oh my God.
And I was like, this kind of feels like a detention center.
Prison. We paint the walls robin egg blue to keep them calm.
Yeah,
Type shit.
The walls were all the same. It was stuff like that, and I just remember I was like, I'm wearing a suit though, but I just remember like that, and then I look at my life now, and it's normal even to my family of like, what are you doing today? Oh, I'm going New Jersey, and then I've got to go to Vegas, and blah 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 blah. And like a few years ago, she'd be like, "Stop! I'm leaving you." Like, what do you? It doesn't sound like a normal sentence because it just doesn't feel like a reality. But now it very much so is, and I often think like, there's a joke we always make about the shaky lamp. Have you heard about that?
I don't think I've heard the shaky
the
lamp.
Reddit post. It's like a creepypasta Reddit post about like this guy. He talks about how in college he got in a bar fight and like gets knocked out and smacks his head on the curb, and he wakes up like some hot chick like takes him home, takes care of him, winds up getting married, lives 15 years, has a wife, has kids, and then one day he's like sitting in the living room and the lamp looks weird, and he like slowly becomes obsessed with this lamp because it just looks weird, and then eventually he's just staring at this lamp all day, and then eventually he wakes up from a coma and he had lived 15 years that was all completely fake.
No.
And he was just in a coma from getting his head smacked on the curb. So that's like the recurring joke in the friend group is like, anytime we're doing something cool, one of us will be like, guys, the lamp's starting to look weird. We're all going to wake up. This is fake.
Yeah, that's a dark way to think about it. But that's what I think about like with the simulation sometimes. I'm like, what if we are all looking at a lamp technically?
This was great. I'm good with this lamp.
You want to hear the part that scares me about that the most?
What's that?
When I was in 6th grade, I had to write a paper on what I wanted to do when I grew up. When I was in 6th grade, I wanted to be a stand-up comedian, and I loved Blue Collar Comedy Tour. You ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Larry the
my dad
Cable
used to
Guy,
listen to
Jeff
that all the
Foxworthy, Bill
time.
Engvall, Ron White. 4 friends that would travel the country. They would all do their bits, and then they would come out and sit together on stage in front of a crowd of people and with the crowd and tell jokes. Fast forward, by the way, my favorite comedian, because I was in 6th grade at the time, was Larry the Cable Guy.
Larry the Cable Guy was
Yeah, fast forward 15 years later, I'm the fat electrician, and I travel the country with my 3 friends, and we do comedy shows where we all sit up there together and with the crowd.
came together. It came to the vision's visioning for sure.
Lamp's looking weird.
Lamp's looking weird. Yeah. No, it's
The fan electrician thing though, it's a pretty hard name.
A complete
Larry the
accident.
Cable Guy,
Complete accident.
How was it an accident?
It was, dude. All right. So
You're
I
an electrician, you're ripped, so you just say you're fat instead of ripped.
I was an
Sounds
electrician, and I ruptured my pec. I tore my pec, so I was off work for like 6 months in a sling. And my wife, I was sitting at home all day doing nothing, and my wife kept sending me TikToks, which to me at the time was an app for little kids to do dances on. And I'm a grown ass man that's a journeyman electrician. I'm not getting TikTok. She kept sending them to me, so I would have to watch them through the internet browser. You know?
Oh, when they let you do that.
Yeah, back when they let you, this is, 6 years ago. So I would just watch them through internet browser. And eventually I was like, I'll get the app. I downloaded it. Well, then you got to make an account. Didn't know what to use for a name. So as a joke to my wife, because I was hurt and couldn't work out, I made the username as a joke, the fat electrician.
It's so hard.
And it was just a joke to my wife, like, oh, can't work out. I'm going to get fat now. Ha, ha, ha. And then a couple months later, I got a wild hair up my ass, made a TikTok, and it got 12 million views.
What was that TikTok about?
It's about a grocery store called Aldi.
What's going on at Aldi?
I just
You gotta
explained.
ask that these days.
I just explained why the business model was insane. Like it was made by the Germans right after World War II, and it's like just German engineering applied to a grocery store,
Right.
And why it was funny and efficient, and why I liked it more because it just prevented people from being annoying in the grocery store by design, and just made it funny. Got a ton of views, and then I just kept making videos,
And now you're like, honey, I'm a TikToker.
I'm the fat electrician forever.
yeah.
Yeah, but a TikToker.
No, I switched to YouTube
You
pretty
switched
quick.
to YouTube.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
What's funny about it is Aldi's such a legit business that everyone admires it, that I wrote about it in business school. Like I did a case study on it.
No.
Like it's that good. Like they do, basically they've decided the best way to move a customer through the store. They don't put stuff in special packaging. They just put it out there in pallets. Like
Basically, it's cheaper than everywhere else. When you walk into an Aldi, there's no like entryway and you can like walk left and go down all the aisles. It's you walk in, you're in an aisle. The only way to go is left.
Yeah.
You're going down aisle 1. When you get to the end of aisle 1, you have to turn and go down aisle 2. And there's only like 3 or 4 aisles. So you have to go. There's one path of traffic. There's no one person's going against the current. You have to go this way. And everything in the store is just like, we're not taking the bags of chips out of the boxes and putting them on the rack. No, we're just opening the box and setting it there. And when the boxes are empty,
then
we throw away the box.
Yeah.
And then we don't give out bags. You're bagging your own groceries. You can take the boxes if you forgot bags. So then they get people to take their boxes for them. Like it's just,
you put your cart
streamlined.
back, you get a quarter back, all these like little things that they did to make it efficient. So
It's like the real Autobahn of grocery stores. if
pretty
you will.
much. Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know the last time I was in an Aldi.
They also have really good food. Like the quality of their food is really good
It's
because
like Costco level.
yeah, probably better, honestly, because they have to meet European standards
Yeah,
on the
the meat.
quality of their food. So like minimal GMOs, if any at all. Like if you're getting like a cookie, for instance, like it's actually just like flour, sugar, chocolate chips, the end. Not like a bunch of like weird stuff.
See, that's the thing. And we say it every time we like go over to Europe. We'll eat like hypothetically and things like that, drink a lot, and somehow we feel decent the next day because there is so much in all our foods here. I was even looking at a protein bar the other day. I think it was like, I don't want to get the company wrong. I think it was a David bar. And I went and said, let me check out the ingredients here because it's like pretty good for you. Like the macros all look good. I don't remember what was in there, but it was some sort of like corn syrup and like all these other preservatives. I'm like, no wonder I have to take within an hour, like not the good kind every time I have one of these. You know, it's like something went very wrong in our society where they just let that happen, and it's just a very bad slippery slope these days.
Yeah. It's pretty rough. It's keeping Ian Carroll in business, though.
It is
That's how I
keeping
found
Ian
out
Carroll
about
in
him
business.
was all the food shelves and how it's all like owned by one company. I think it's Unilever mainly. I don't know.
Yeah, doesn't Ian has like an app for that now or something, right?
I'm
Where
pretty
they-
sure it's called like Buyer.
Yeah. I think that's it. Where they tell you like what's what. But someone told me a few years ago, and then I've seen it all over the internet since then, so it's probably been around a while. But they're like, just don't buy the shiny wrapper stuff in the food store. Don't go to the middle aisles. Go the outside where it's like produce and stuff like that, and you'll be okay. I think there's something to be said for that.
I think it still applies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is that we let that happen in America? We're supposed to be like the leader of the free world and everything, but we're kind of like very behind on stuff like that.
Profits.
Profit.
I'm thinking of the scene in The Founder where he makes the milkshake out of powder at the restaurant.
At some point or another, we let money into politics because we lost track of what a politician's supposed to be. The country was designed so that the politicians in America were supposed to be independently wealthy, successful individuals that then, after becoming wealthy and successful, went on to serve the public, be a public servant to help run the country because they know how to run a business. They know how to get done. They're leaders in the military. They're leaders in business. They're accomplished individuals. And for some reason now, most of our politicians all have law degrees, and their entire life from the time they were 12 years old was, I'm on a chart to do this, so I need to go to this high school, and then I need to go to this college, and then I need to join the military where I will intentionally get a job to ensure that I never see combat for the minimum amount of time. Once I get out of that, so I can, check the veteran box, and then I'm going to go be a city council member here, be this here, and then they've spent their entire life on this trajectory to run the country, and they've never even lived in the real world. And these people need money to win elections, so when some asshole comes to the factory and is like, I'll give you $1 million to win your election, but let me pump corn syrup into strawberries.
Right.
They say yes.
And they're owned. And then they just insider trade on the information so they can get fucking rich, right?
Hey,
No, Nancy Pelosi's husband is better than Warren
He's
Buffett
a
by
phenomenal stock
700%.
trader.
He's
a
got to
phenomenal
be
stock
better.
yeah. And when he has company over, sometimes he doesn't have pants. What's the big deal, guys?
That's it.
That's
you know?
it. I know when I get undressed from a long day in a suit, I
take pants off.
I go pants off first. Never the tie, never the shirt. I go, let's drop trousers.
Trousers first.
Trousers
figure out the
first,
shirt
yeah.
later for sure.
Yeah.
You got to Winnie the Pooh this shit.
Winnie the Pooh.
So you just got to go Tom Cruise and risky business. You start And that's just kind of how it goes.
That is true.
We don't hear about that story though anymore. That just kind of that went away, right?
I like the footage. The cops are like, "Yo," like, they're just like,
What's
they're like-
happening here?
and he's like, "We're fine," and he's like holding the one guy off. He's like, "We're fine." He's like, "Are you sure you're fine?" And he's like, "It doesn't look like you're fine." No, we're just two friends hanging out. Is that a hammer? Come on, dude. What are you doing? It's crazy.
I agree with everything you said, though, but I think you're even giving too much credit because you're just mentioning the ones who maybe go the military route for the checkbox on the resume. A lot of these people don't even do that.
Yeah, you
They
don't
come
have
out
to
and
anymore.
they're like, they don't even do the military.
The standard is constantly getting lower.
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I mean, most of them just take like admin jobs if they do the military, or like, something that's in like logistics is a popular thing. Like you can get in, move stuff around, blah, blah, blah. You're not going to really see combat at all. Or if you do, it's very minimal. You'll be at like a big base.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of people in intelligence, though. That's
A
also
lot of that, too.
A lot of
Yeah.
that. That's always interesting. But
Well, they know the game.
yeah, yeah.
They used to be the guy on the other side. Now they come in, they're like, now I'm your inside man.
Now I have
gotcha."
a white naval suit.
That's right. That's right. Isn't one of your boys he's like literally about to win, right?
Yep.
Herrera?
Brandon.
Yeah, Brandon.
So
Shout out
he's
Brandon
running,
Herrera.
what district is that in Texas?
District 23 in Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's where the guy who like fucked his assistant or something
Tony
had to drop out.
Gonzalez. Yeah.
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 Why did he before all that, why did he want to run against him in the first place?
So after the one, he just didn't have a good voting record in general for being a Republican. And then Brandon's big thing was he kind of rolled over on guns and was becoming anti-gun as a Republican representing Texas. So
Really?
Brandon ran against him last time. Actually took him to a runoff election. So in Texas, you have to win by more than 50%. So he prevented him from getting 50% of the vote. So they had to go to a special runoff election just between the two of them. And he managed to beat Brandon in that special runoff election by outspending him, I think 11-1. I think he spent like $11 million campaigning against Brandon. And it was all like complete lies of like Brandon's anti-veteran. Brandon hates, it's like, Brandon's on one of the biggest veteran podcasts on the internet and has raised hundreds of thousands. I think we were broke $1 million at this point for veterans charities.
Yeah.
It's like, no, he isn't. But you have enough money and you can lie loud enough. People
I
aren't
don't know
going
how that's legal. How's it legal?
insane.
Like to do something to spend money, fill the public airways with things that are verifiably false.
Great
That's
question.
a very good point. Because when this second go around, when all this stuff happened, the text messages were published. It was on NBC Nightly News. I was at my house. I just took a photo of it. And I was like, oh my God, they're talking about Tony. And all those things happened. Still, he wasn't stepping down. I remember there was a push, and I found out about this from Chris Jacobs, a friend of ours, that there was a photo we all took somewhere, and it was in a Rolling Stone article, and it labeled Brandon as a neo-Nazi.
A neo-Nazi.
Yeah, which is...
And their logic of why he was a neo-Nazi was because Brandon makes YouTube videos on guns, a lot of which are either weird, historically interesting, like one-off, like experimental stuff there's not a lot of, or historic guns that had like a big significance on like this gun was revolutionary to firearms because of XYZ, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
Amongst all of his videos, which he covers all of, he has covered some guns from Germany
Oh my God.
in World War II.
That was enough.
And talks about how, the MG42, the machine gun that the Nazis used, was revolutionary for heavy machine guns because
my
it fucking
God.
was. But because he made a video talking about a Nazi gun and saying it's a good gun, because objectively it is,
Yeah.
he's a Nazi. Because if the Nazis did anything and you liked it, you must also be a
Oh,
Nazi.
that's nuts.
Yeah, that was their logic.
I mean, they were literally fitted by Hugo Boss.
Yeah.
I don't see anyone not wearing you know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Not to mention, his name is Brandon Herrera. So,
They wouldn't have liked them.
it was a stretch. I mean, his grandmother literally escaped Nazi Germany. We've all met her. She's a lovely lady. She even walked back from France when she was 14. So like her family literally fought against the Nazis.
Wow.
And so but it didn't matter. Like none of these things mattered. And so eventually I think his staff or whatever, they got it all taken down. But it was just photos of all of us like hanging out, like doing the podcast or like just like random Instagram things that were out there. And they're like, neo-Nazi Brandon Herrera.
Well, there was the one where he said, God, what was it? Somebody brought, because like the running joke on the internet is I hate communism. So we had a guest come on that brought me the Communist Manifesto as a gift. Funny, haha. And
you keep it?
They got on the, I already had it. I have a copy. Okay. I got to read it, you know?
That's it, yeah.
I got to learn the enemy.
Got to know your enemy.
Exactly.
Yeah. Got to learn the enemy.
So, that brought up, you know, the Mein Kampf or whatever.
Yeah.
And Brandon said that he owned a copy. He also owned a copy of the Communist Manifesto. And then he listed off like 10 other books that he also had copies of. And he goes, have you ever read it? It reads like a dude schizo posting on the internet. Like Hitler was clearly fucking crazy. And then he goes, but watch, they're not going to add that part. They're going to cut that out and then just say that I own a copy of Mein Kampf.
Yep.
And like literally exactly right where they did. He called where they were going to cut it and put that in the ad. And it's like,
that's nuts.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
You just shouldn't be allowed to do that. And it's also crazy because I don't know when this stopped, but like my dad was in college in the mid 80s. They assigned Mein Kampf for classes to have to read it, to do a breakdown of like what sociopathy looks like. It used to be like that. Apparently that used to be a thing. And then at some point it was like, not only are they not assigning it, you don't want that on your Amazon history.
What if we expose people to this and then explain to them why it's so fucking stupid and horrible? And then if it ever tries to happen again, they'll be able to identify it and know that it's stupid and horrible.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like, but no, the answer is to just bury your head in the sand, pretend that the problem can never happen, and get mad if anybody tries to educate you. It's perfect.
But yeah, the reason they're attacking him is because he doesn't have any of the traditional levers. You know, he has money, he has power.
They're attacking him because he's exactly the guy that I said he's supposed to be.
Yeah, that's what he's supposed to be.
He's independently successful. He's independently already got a bunch of money. He runs multiple successful businesses. He doesn't need people's money to get bought out, and they fucking hate that.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
So like, how do we manipulate him? And he's like,
You can't.
You can't. And they're like,
we're
we're just going to call you a Nazi. And he's like, a Mexican. And they're like, all right, we'll call you a neo-Nazi.
I'll say it louder. Like,
yeah.
And I have zero interest in ever going anywhere near politics or whatever. I don't think people would like me over there in any way, shape, or form. But like, you know, I see some of these guys who will get labels like that. And you said his grandma literally like survived World War II.
Literally,
But
yeah.
Literally.
We've spent time
My
with her recently.
anger, if that actually happened, because it's one thing to be lied about and stuff, but like then when it's something personal to you and they're saying like you're the opposite, I would not deal with that well. I would just fucking lose it.
good. That's what we need, though.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion. I want to go back to the time where it's not a bunch of 70-year-olds that don't understand how to connect to a fucking Wi-Fi router running the country, trying to explain to them what the fuck AI and why it's important. And then I want guys like you, and I want people getting on the floor of Congress being like, let's fucking run it right now. Like, I want to see you guys throwing hands. Like, that's when shit was getting done.
Yeah.
Well, what's that one got? The Treasury Secretary is fucking throwing hands with everyone these days. You seen that?
I saw he's like,
beat up Elon, beat up some other guy, another guy like they had to separate him from.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that real?
I swear to God, it's real.
I've seen the clip of the one guy being like, we can take this outside.
That's
And he goes,
Mark-
okay, pop up, let's go. And he like gets up.
That's Mark Wayne Mullen and the head of Teamsters.
Oh, he threatened the head of Teamsters.
Yeah, and he's like, we can settle this outside, and he's like, we sure can. And like, he's like,
That
all
might
right,
have been a
cool,
good fight,
pop off.
actually.
And I was like, come on, dude.
I think a little popping off would be good. Yeah, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent has been involved in several high-profile internal clashes with the administration. Bill Pulte, Elon Musk. And we can't, every time we ask about this, and I've gone to look for it, it's like almost deleted from the internet. There's another one. There was a guy like at the beginning of the Iran war that he not Pulte. It was another one that he like beat the shit out of him back there.
Good.
Like, that's one tough
That's
gig.
what I want.
Yeah, he's fucking,
That's what I want.
he can throw it around.
Think about how much cooler filibusters would be if they were just running fades the whole time.
I want that. I want to have to like be taken into consideration weight classes when I'm voting for politicians. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Iowa needs a heavyweight. Like, sorry,
Is Iowa going to get a heavyweight? You're going to think about doing it?
we'll see. We got Zach Lawn running for governor right now. So
Okay. What's his story?
Zach Lawn is like literally just a farmer from Iowa. His family's been there since fucking forever, like showed up in a covered wagon and helped build the state.
Love that.
His family fought in the Civil War, like he's got this huge family history. And
Which side?
Iowa fought for the North.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
Making sure.
yeah, Iowa never had slaves.
Yeah, imagine he comes out, South will rise again.
So
Vote for me for governor.
Sorry.
but no, Iowa's got, I think we're either the only state or one of two states that has a rising cancer rate in the United States of America. And we have like the highest cancer rates in the world. And it's because
Glyphosate?
Iowa's the most, I guess the term would be like terraformed plot of land on the planet. Like Iowa used to be all prairies with tall grass, and now it's all corn everywhere.
Brother.
And the shit they spray on the corn gets in the groundwater and it's fucking up everything. Nitrates, glyphosate. And his whole platform is we need to quit letting them do this. There's safer ways to do it. He's literally running on the platform of cancer is bad.
Yeah.
And I think it was the Des Moines Register. They had like a Democratic journalist basically pissed off.
Cancer's actually good.
No, to their credit, they were pissed off at the Democratic Party. They were like, how in the fuck did you let a Republican beat you to this? He's like, historically speaking, this is a Democrat
Progressive issue.
issue. Like,
well, the environment.
environment. We want to, do the healthy thing, even if it doesn't make profits. Like, historically speaking, that would be a Democrat talking point. And they're like, how did you let this guy beat you to it? Because now he's the cancer's bad candidate. And I don't know how to run against that.
Yeah.
I can't say it's good.
That's crazy. But so they have like the highest rising rate of it. And yeah, when did that, because I think that's one thing, especially like someone who's been from the East Coast my whole life. I'm from Jersey. It is called the Garden State. We have some great farms and stuff here, but we got a little bit of everything, right? And I'm from less of like the farm area, if you will. But obviously, you look at Middle America, this is the ground zero of producing in this country and getting everything into your food store like that's supposed to be good for you and all that. When did it start to get like out of control with the glyphosate and with all these things? And like, what was the idea of even bringing these things into the picture when we have human history that worked for so long without it?
So I'm guessing here. So not all of this is completely accurate. So Iowa's all prairie. It used to be covered with this prairie grass that was really tall. Like historic accounts when the pilgrims and pioneers and stuff were coming over, they said this grass was so tall that if you were sitting on horseback, you could tie the grass around the horse's neck. This grass has root systems that's like 10 times longer than the grass itself. And I've seen it in museums. It's like 3 stories long, this massive root system.
3 stories?
Going down. It's like 30 feet. Yeah.
Holy
it's
shit.
insane how deep these roots go. Well, we got rid of all those roots and that stuff's been there for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. The grass dies, the soil absorbs all the nutrients from that plant, and that went on forever. So Iowa and the Midwest has like some of the most fertile growing ground on the planet. Corn takes all the nitrogen out of the ground. So for a long time, you would do crop rotations, and that's why Iowa's known most for corn and soybeans. So you would rotate your field as like corn, soybean, corn, soybean, corn, soybean, because the corn takes all the nitrogen out of the ground. The soybeans puts nitrogen back in the ground. So you would rotate. And my guess, this is where I get into what I don't know. My assumption is with ethanol and everything else, it became a lot more profitable to grow corn because who the fuck eats soybeans, right? So they figured, we can just pump nitrogen into the ground with chemicals, and then we don't need to grow soybeans to put that nitrogen back into the ground.
And it's like a drug. They became reliant on
So then now Iowa's predominantly corn. Even when I moved there, 15 years ago, I would see way more soybean fields or like different times a year, different crop. Yeah.
Oh, Dave just pulled it out. This is the root you're talking about.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the root system of this prairie grass that they had in Iowa going on for thousands of years. And that's why the ground there's Iowa dirt doesn't look like dirt in the rest. Like dirt in the rest of the country is like brown.
Yeah.
Dirt in Iowa is like black, like dark black. So, I mean, it's just the soil's good, but then I don't know, it became profitable with ethanol and everything else to just grow corn. So now they're just pumping chemicals into the ground. And spraying shit.
And now when we're talking about potentially, where people are aware of this kind of thing and we want to get rid of stuff like that, we're doing it at a time where we fucking inflated the dollar 6 ways to Sunday. People can't afford to buy a home anymore. People are making financial decisions as to whether or not to make a kid. We're funding all these wars but can't feed the poor and everything. And so if you, and this is a 30,000 foot in the air view of it, when you go to unwind stuff like this, there does have to be some short-term financial pain, 5-10 years, something like that, to readjust the industry. And you're going to, to me, I hate to be a cynic, but it's like they're going to keep kicking the can down the road because no one wants to eat that and then lose on a Tuesday in November.
Yeah. I heard RFK talk about it on Rogan, that they're looking into robots that shoot lasers at bugs.
Dude, they look dope. Have you seen them?
I haven't seen them.
It's a giant trailer, basically, that they pull behind a tractor. It looks like a fucking solar panel laying down flat.
It's a robot?
It sits, it's just a trailer, but it's like a big metal
It uses
panel.
AI and
it's got wheels and it's got AI and cameras on it and lasers everywhere. And you just drive it over the crops and it's like a Star Wars battle scene. It's just shooting lasers at little bugs. Bug zaps it and they just drive it over the field and it kills everything.
This is
okay,
it?
now
Yeah.
we're talking. Yeah.
Wait a second.
These are the robots.
And it's like, this is what we could be using instead of spraying chemicals that give you cancer on our fields.
So what he said on the episode is that it's something that HHS is looking into. The problem is cost, but until this is up and running, and even they've figured out the cost, if they just pull the ripcord right now and take out glyphosate, it'll collapse our food industry because we have nothing else. So it's kick the can, yes, but it does give me hope that he's actually looking into it. Because from what I understand, he has a history of doing really good stuff. He cleaned up the water out here, right? Isn't that what he did here?
Yeah, the Hudson.
Yeah, he cleaned it up. He cleaned it up when everyone else was like, "Nah, don't do it." He was like, "I'm gonna do it."
Yeah, he's a long time. You can definitely say he's a long time environmentalist, and
Also jacked.
He is.
Dude, I'm gonna work out till I'm dead.
Yeah,
because of him, everyone's like, "Oh, he's not that strong." I'm like, dude, he's 70.
He's like 72 or 73.
He's 72
he's
and
jacked.
And I saw him. What was it? I think it was working out with Kid Rock, but but I did see him work out with. Oh, it was Mike O'Hearn. He was a Mike O'Hearn.
Yeah, out Cold Gym.
He pops top. He's in jeans and he's repping on incline bench at 72, 135. I'm like,
that's fucking good. Man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Most people in their 20s and 30s can't do that, and your papaw's doing it. I mean,
yeah. It's
fast forward to when I'm 70, dude. I'm gonna be obnoxious.
Speaking of here, what is up with you can't pump your own gas here?
Oh yeah, what's that about?
Oh, you're unaware of this?
What is?
No, we live in America.
I don't trust any state that doesn't let me pump my own gas.
No. Listen,
You can't pump your gassy.
Don't knock it before you try it. It's actually a very nice luxury in this state.
Which side of the Civil War did you guys fight on?
Just
What the fuck you got going on? I'm not
just
pumping
hear
my
me
own
out.
gas.
Just hear me out. Listen, when I drive over to Pennsylvania or into New York, I'll sit at the gas station for a minute and forget. I'm like, oh shit.
Oh, you got gas PTSD.
Yeah, no, because I'm like, where the fuck is the guy? And then he doesn't come by, and I'm like, oh right, I'm in a different state. I pump it, but when you're here and you can just pull up, if you go to a Wawa and you want to go in there, you want to get your coffee, get a couple bananas or something, you just pull up, you hand the guy your card, you come back.
It's
and
crazy.
your gas is
You
fucking
give a
full.
stranger your credit card and you just leave.
It's amazing. There's cameras everywhere.
Oh,
Try me.
Dude,
You don't like that?
Europeans bitch about that a lot. I didn't know that.
About what?
Like Europeans, when they come over here, a lot of them, they say it's really weird at restaurants that Americans give their credit card to the waiter or waitress and they take the credit card away to run the transaction.
They think that's weird.
Apparently that's weird to them.
Well, they do in Europe. They do always bring the thing to the table and they tap it right in front of you.
I mean, they're doing that's fine. You can also look and be like, oh, there's $300 from O'Charlie's or whatever.
I just don't think
here.
that they realize this is America and will throw hands over shit.
That's
Because
what I'm
that's the
saying.
same thing in France where they were like, Americans are trying to fight the pickpockets and the pickpockets aren't used to handling that. Usually it's like a game. If we catch you, they just give you your stuff back and the Americans are just beating the shit out of people.
Dude, dude, you seen Tyler Oliveira's content on that? With the pickpockets?
Tyler Oliveira?
You've heard of him. He's huge on YouTube. But he has one series that he does where he goes to different cities in Europe and goes after the scammers and everything.
I think I know who you're talking about.
So we were back in Rome a couple weeks ago, and he actually hit me up on something separate. And I told him, I said, dude, I forgot to tell you this in December when I was here, and now we were just thinking again when I was here. But when I lived in Rome 12 years ago, it was the safest city ever. The one thing was when you'd go on the bridges, there'd be pickpockets and scammers and shit. So you always had to like walk across with your hands like this. Now you go on a bridge over there, ever since he fucking was there, you can't find one, dude. I was like, I think you scared them all off, because he'll like tackle them and shit while he's videoing them, like, scammer, scammer. And they don't like him.
Hell yeah. Good.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you gotta
solve the
teach 'em.
problem.
Yes.
But what's the reasoning behind having people pump your gas as opposed to you doing it?
It's just a really nice service. We're a great state.
It's like a law, right?
It is. I believe it actually. Can we check that, Dave? I'm pretty sure it is codified. Like, you have to have one.
I'm just curious what the legislation was.
Oh,
like,
can I
reasoning?
guess? Can I guess?
Go ahead and guess.
This was 100% like some union bullshit when cars were coming out.
Gotcha.
Like,
That's right.
all
That's gonna be right about that.
all the union fucking guys that feed the Haiti or horse at the bar are going to be out of a job. They got to learn how to pump gas, and then we need to make sure they keep their jobs because we don't want to lose those.
Okay, here we go. So under the Retail Gas Dispensing Safety Act, that's such a gay name, but whatever. It is
Safety
illegal
Act.
for a customer to pump their own gas in Jersey. It's the only state in the U.S. that still maintains this ban. The reason the law was originally passed in 1949 due to safety hazards and fire concerns associated with dispensing flammable liquids. We do smoke a lot of cigarettes in
you
this
guys are
state.
dumb.
That could be why.
Just like
Your elected official said, I don't trust these fucking idiots with flammable
I'm
liquid.
telling you. I'm telling you. Dave
we can't
can
trust
back me
these
up here.
civilians with the gas pumping. They'll get all confused.
But once you like get used to it, it is like a drug, and you're like, this is very nice. It's very convenient for your day.
Yeah.
And we still know how to pump. Like,
That's
when I go to
fine.
another state, I fucking
once
pump.
you get used to the Big Brother state and the government controls everything, it's very comfortable.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable.
You're literally one step away from like
Everybody else is worried about them putting auto kill switches in cars so they could just shut your car down and prevent travel. New Jersey government's like, we'll just fire the gas pumping guys and nobody will know what the fuck to do.
yeah.
Well, I mean, a lot of times, like, it is like an Indian guy or a Pakistani guy or something, so it doesn't feel like Big Brother. Like, I don't feel like they would be.
Yeah, we don't mind if that guy catches fire. Is that what you're saying? We don't. That's what I heard you say.
Yeah. This is crazy work. Is it a 24-hour situation?
Yes.
There's literally a guy on post, like
All
a military
night,
base.
graveyard shift. If I go get gas before a long drive at like 3:30 in the morning or 4, there's a dude waiting for me saying, what do you want? I'm like, 89 regular, let's go. Hey guys, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It's a huge, huge help. Thank you.
Dang. I don't know. I feel like you're just one step away from being like, you're over your monthly allotment. Go back home.
I mean, it was a 1949 law. We've been good on this.
I'm just saying,
the
like, it just
biggest,
feels like
proponent.
it's one step away from being like, let's cap those.
What?
gas
The
tax.
fucking balls on your government in 1949 to be like, oh, all you guys that just won World War II that were literally having Jeeps mailed to you in boxes and assembling them in the field and driving them into combat. You just got home, got your life together, and now you can afford a car. I don't trust you to pump gas.
No,
I'm not buying it.
Hold on a minute. They more said, we're going to give you a nice service. You don't have to pump your gas anymore.
This is hella finessing.
Hey, listen, I'm a finesse. I like this. You're trying to take it away.
The cope is real.
I do have cope on this. And I'm like the bad, like, always worried about Big Brother with everything, but I feel like you're roping this in.
I think you're coming to realize that they got you and you're mad about it.
I don't think so.
Yeah. This is my new goal.
Is this like a Peter Thiel? Was he alive in 1949?
Was Peter Thiel?
Probably was.
Resident of Argentina? Yeah.
God. Yeah, I just had my boy Pop in here.
Hold on, no, don't change it. Now, are you allowed to plug in your own Teslas, or do you have to have a guy for that
Here it
too?
is, no, you can plug in your own Teslas. I'll show you. It's right up here.
I mean, power can kill just like fire.
It can kill just like
If
it.
you watch
but
Avatar, power is more dangerous
I
than
think
fire.
but actually, here's a mind fuck for you. I think that's New Jersey saying don't get a Tesla because you got to fucking do it yourself. So we're gonna stay on gasoline cars.
It's the last state to do
Just
it.
turn that around on you. See, they're trying to disincentivize electric vehicles. They're trying to say we do gasoline in this fucking state.
Threaten me with a good time. The first politician to run on V8s and no carburetor, no emission standards is getting my vote. Like,
Good.
I'm all for
So
it.
come to New Jersey, where you have gas attendants, and that's what they're running on. Apparently, I don't know. Steve, you're supposed to back me up here.
No, I want to be able to pump my own gas. If I'm being honest.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Goddamn, you sound
I'm
like
sorry. That's why I was keeping quiet. I didn't want to, but it's
All
a
right.
pain in the ass.
Well, that's just stamping on me while I'm drowning.
Yeah,
Three on one.
I'm sorry,
Thank you.
I'm not
Sorry.
for it. I don't want to bring my car here.
But you are a big fan of Peter Thiel.
I don't fucking. Which one is that?
That's the reptile.
More specifically.
It's the guy who funds clavicular.
No, which
Right.
billionaire is he? How do you make $1 billion?
He did PayPal Mafia, Facebook Board, Invest Founders Fund.
What's his AI project? Which one is he? Is he Palantir, ChatGPT?
Yeah, I think
he's
it's Palantir, but I'm trying to think if there's another one that he's on the board of. Right? Yeah, he's got to be on a lot.
He's honestly been angel investing more than anything the past 20 years.
Where are you at with AI? You're more down these conspiracy rabbit holes than I am.
I am?
I would assume.
Really?
I would assume. I walked through your office.
What was in my office?
There's
That
whiteboards
was
and
a
red.
script.
There's whiteboards and red strings
That's a
everywhere.
script.
Yeah. I thought we were in Philly. It looked like Charlie over
Oh
there.
my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
I think
Pepe Sylvia.
I think AI's in this sense, like I think it's like every innovation before it in one way and then unlike it. The way it's like it is that people have always been afraid of the next big technology and they say it's going to end the world and yada, yada, yada. But it just over time, even if there's pain, like it creates overall progress. And I think there's a lot of great things AI can be used for. The way it's not like previous technology, though, is because of the exponential curve of technology. We're now talking about something that has the potential, if it's seen through, to be able to outthink a human being. And then there's a lot of weird slippery slopes with that.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Every AI I've ever fucked with can already outthink a lot of human beings.
Right. That's the scary part to me. It's like, and who has their fingers on these triggers? Like, do you think Sam Altman seems like a regular schmo? I don't.
You're mad that AI is too smart. I'm mad because people are too dumb.
Come to Jersey. They're smarter over here, apparently.
All right.
Maybe they're smarter because they haven't been inhaling gas.
We are
fumes.
not going to sit here. I'm not going to sit here and be a cuck at the gas pump being like, I feel so smart right now.
I've never had someone fight. It's always the opposite. People are like, yo, people pump your gas here. It's fucking awesome.
I will never in my life pull up with my car and look another man in the eyes and be like, yeah, bro, pump my tank. It's not happening. Stick it in. You do it. I'll watch while I sit in this chair. Not happening. I'll be pumping the gas.
Did you guys have fun? All right, I'm going to go.
Yes, Bush. Okay.
She full? All right, I'm going to take off.
Like, we good? All right. No, I don't need a receipt.
No eye contact. It's weird. Let's go.
I think you got to make a TikTok before you leave.
Do you tip the guy? Is that
No, you don't tip. That's one. Like, I'm a huge tipper. That's one thing you don't tip. The gas station attendant.
'cause that's his
paid
job.
Full salary. They're paid a full salary. It's not like a waiter or something like that. Those guys you tip the shit out of. Don't tell me you tip the gas attendant.
You tip?
No.
Okay, all
But
right.
sometimes they'll hit the hood for you or the
Oh, yeah, I
windshield.
give them $1 when they do that.
There you go. You
They
might
never
tip them.
do that though.
Yeah,
Ever.
no.
I
Not
haven't
anymore.
seen someone do the window squeegee in probably like 10 years.
Yeah, there's no class anymore.
Yeah, and the thing that pisses me off about that is like I didn't ask for that. Maybe I like my window dirty. That's why I have window fluid. Like you don't need to come do that just to get more money out of me. I'm already spending now it's like $7 a gallon just to get. Well,
Seriously?
No, it's like $5, but it got up to $7 in California just to get gas because it's more expensive at the moment. It's like I already got a big bill coming. This is really making me rethink things.
He's mad because he wants to do the cleanup. I get it.
This is like a giant farm. The whole thing. Did you pump your own gas in the military?
Yeah.
They didn't have like a designated. No.
They have stations all around bases.
Got it.
You just
They
pull
have guys whose job it is to drive like the giant fuel tank truck.
Right.
But yeah, no, usually you're pumping your own gas.
That's a
filling your
gas
own jerry
attendant, though.
cans.
Because they're getting you the gas. And this the least you can do is pump
Well,
it
it's
at
kind of
that
like
point.
the semi truck that brings the gas to the gas station and then you still pump your own shit.
Okay. All right. I got you. How
Sorry.
long have you been out of the military though?
Me, 2012.
2012.
Yeah.
So you got in. Do you get in at 18?
17.
No shit.
Yeah, I was still in high school.
Was that something you always wanted to do?
No.
How'd you end up?
Poor. Got to pay for college somehow. Thought I had to go to college. So joined my senior year.
Where did you live at the time?
Iowa.
So I thought you said you moved to Iowa 15. Well, that would be like 20.
Yeah, I moved to Iowa when I was like 12, 13
Okay.
from California.
Got it.
I finished high school and everything in Iowa.
Where'd you live in California, Stan?
All over Northern California, Chico, Orland, Orville. So
And why'd you move to Iowa?
just family decided to move. I was a kid, moved with them, and then got to spend the rest of the time in Iowa. Joined National Guard while I was still in high school. Shipped off, did all the training for that right after, and then tried to go to nursing school. Failed that miserably. Not my thing.
You as a nurse?
Bro. I was like, I'm a combat medic. That's close to nursing. That'll be similar. It's not.
That is how they pitch it, actually. Yeah.
That'll be similar. No, it isn't.
No.
No.
You know who you're dealing with in the
it's not.
military. It's a different.
Well, yeah, healthcare. I thought I was real good at giving IVs. I didn't realize that everybody I was trying to give IVs to was 20 to 30-year-old men that were in reasonably good shape, and I didn't have to go through 4 inches of fat to find a fucking vein. You know what I mean? Like, it's just everything's harder. Everything sucks. It's not a good time. Wasn't for me.
Yeah, a lot of different personalities you're dealing with on that for sure.
Not exciting.
So you became an electrician.
Yeah, quit nursing school, went and joined an apprenticeship, became a journeyman electrician, did that for almost 10 years.
And then it turned into this.
Then it turned into this YouTube thing, and now I'm here. Now I'm in New Jersey where somebody's pumping my gas for me. I'm at the peak of luxury.
That's right. It is cool though, because like I think that there's been a recent movement over the last 5-6 years that I've seen more to where like trades that, by the way, are like really good jobs, electrician, plumber, all these things that have less people going into them. They're starting to say like, hey, more people should look at that instead of spending fucking $200,000 for a gender studies degree.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the other thing is like the most people don't think about is it gets pitched to all these kids as like, you need to find what you're passionate about and then go to college and get a degree for that. I got a newsflash. You don't fucking even know who you are, let alone what you're passionate about or what you want to do. Trying to figure that out when you're 16 and plan the rest of your life, very small margin for success. You have no fucking idea what you like. You've been hanging around the same people exactly your age that grew up in extremely similar circumstances. You think you like the same shit. In 10 years, you're going to look back at what you were into in high school and cringe and be 100%. Like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I wore those clothes. I can't believe I listened to that music. I can't believe any of it. Like, why would you stage your whole life off of what you thought when you were 16, 17 years old? Because
that's what the system sold you, is actually like a modicum of truth. And it's never, I don't think it's ever been that way.
Right. But like the trades in particular is, I don't think I would be here if I wasn't an electrician first. And the reason I say that is I can call my boss that I had and I can fly back to Iowa and I could probably finish out the workday if I want my old job back. Like, I still have a journeyman electrician's license. I can go anywhere in the country and get a job making 6 figures right now. You know what I mean? So like me being able to quit my job and be like, I got a wife and kids and I'm about to quit my job to be a fucking YouTuber. That sounds like it's going to fail for sure. But I had the certain level of confidence in knowing, hey, if this doesn't work out, worst case scenario, I go back to where I am right now.
Yeah.
My life can't get worse from what I'm already doing. I'm living the worst case scenario. It can only get better. So I might as well try. And I tried and it worked. And if it didn't, I would have went back to being an electrician and I could have said I tried. You know what I mean? So like when you get these trade licenses, you become a journeyman electrician, a journeyman plumber, any of this stuff, you have that for the rest of your life. You can always fall back on that. Like my new minimum wage is a 6-figure salary with full benefits.
That's amazing.
You know what I mean? And like you can get, if I wish, like, I don't wish I didn't join the military, but like, had I known that this was an option, I probably wouldn't have, because the whole reason I went was to go and pay for college.
Right.
And if I would have known that at 18 years old, I could have joined an apprenticeship and been a journeyman electrician at 22, making 6 figures, why wouldn't you do that? And then you have that for the rest of your life. You're still 22 years old. Now if you want to go to college, you can go to college and fucking pay for it.
Right.
And if you don't like it, guess what? You can fucking quit and keep doing what you're doing and dick off and try different stuff till you do find what you're really passionate about. And then you can go do that.
I don't think they want people to know that.
It's insane.
You know? There's not a lot of jobs that are like you just said, where it's like, you know, you can come back to it because you have that skill and there's no bullshit. People, if a job needs to be done, you can be plugged in and do it. All these this whole corporate mindset is like, well, you got to rise through the ranks. You go from fucking associate to VP and this and that. And if you stop, God forbid, some girl goes home and has a kid and decides to take a couple years off, she's like done in the chain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's something about that just feels like that's the fucking plan. And I think that we're in a moment where enough people are waking up to that maybe it can change for the next generation. I really believe that. You know, you see more people do what you did, or more people actually like take a chance on a career and things like that, go out and try to make something. Like, that's what the American dream is supposed to be, I think. Like, either or, you know? Yeah.
I hated corporate life. I wasn't any good at it.
Yeah.
I was really, really bad at it. I can't stress that enough. Like, it's just, especially coming from the military, the problem I had was, like, in the military, at least when I was in, you know, when you're in like combat arms, like the infantry and doing stuff like that, and Nick can attest this too, is you work until the job's done and then that's it. Like, you go home. Like, you get the job done, you go home. You're training, you go home. And so, like, I treated most of corporate life like that. If I was done, I was done. And they'd be like, no, you're not done. You got to stay. And I'm like, I don't understand.
You got to sit underneath this fucking white noise.
Sit underneath the You have a suit on, though.
That's the other part that,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
I completely agree, because like when I was an electrician, it was like, don't get me wrong, there was times where like I was dicking off at work, but you know, I was with the boys, we were doing pranks, whatever, with each other. But like for the most part, it was like, if I'm somewhere as an electrician, there's work to be done and I can do something. And I really enjoyed like showing up to an empty plot of land, and by the time I leave, there's a fucking house there that's got the lights on. Like, I enjoyed seeing that progress, but I enjoyed there always being work to do. And I have a bunch of friends that work in corporate and shit. Like, I have a buddy with a history degree that's a fucking banker. Like, and he's like, yeah, I have to work, not him particularly, but like these people are like, oh, I have to actually work like maybe 6 hours a week. And the rest of the time, it's kind of just me fiddle fucking around on the computer. I just have to punch the clock for fucking 8 hours a day. Whereas like a lot of these trade jobs I have, my boss would be like, hey, here's what we got to do today. I bid it for 8 hours of work. Fucking, if it takes longer, it takes longer. I got to pay you overtime. If you get it done in fucking 6 hours and it's done right, and you want to go home, fuck off. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, this is what we're doing today.
Well,
get it done.
That would make too much sense.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, I've kept that same mentality with all the employees that I've hired that work for me personally. I was like, here's how much I'm willing to pay. Here's my expectations. And they're like, okay, what hours do I need to work? I don't give a shit. If you can get this done in 4 hours, great. Perfect. Wonderful. Yeah. Go on with your life. And a lot of the people that have like come from those corporate backgrounds, they're like shocked or think it's like a test or I'm fucking with them. It's like, I don't. I need this job done. I'm willing to pay this much money. If you can get it done and work a second fucking job and make even more money, great. I'm happy for you. Do it.
Well, Zach, you were saying like in the military, it's just common sense. Like, you get it done, and that's it. I'm hearing that in how you're describing this though. Like, it sounds like your entire baseline, whether it be like why nursing didn't work out and then why you were effective, like moving into the electrician business, like 1 + 1 = 2. That's totally from like kind of being ingrained into you at a young age that you're working in the military, where it's let's go, this, that, done.
Yeah. It's just, it's very simple. Like, one of the jobs I had was at a company that doesn't exist anymore. And it was 2016. Trump had just been elected. And in healthcare, the Affordable Care Act had been rolled out at that point. So, like, smaller hospitals were being absorbed by bigger organizations. Some just didn't end up existing anymore, community-based hospitals. But, like, I had just left business school, and I show up, and there's a generation of people who don't understand what a PDF is. And they literally had no idea what I was doing any given moment. Like, one time I got pulled aside.
You were working for Congress?
No, they were all too old for Congress, which is bad. But like, I have this very clear memory of like, we're in a meeting And like I have my laptop and I'm just like typing away on Google Docs. Somebody says something, you know, I make a note, call this person, whatever. And then I got pulled aside by my boss and he was like, hey, I need to talk to you about your meeting etiquette. And I was like, oh, what did I say?
Meeting etiquette.
Yeah.
Oh,
and I was like, did I say something? I was like, could they see my tattoos? Like I could look like Post Malone now and everyone wouldn't care, but 2016, it was not the same.
Right.
Especially in boomer corporate America. So I was like, what'd I do? And he's like, well, you're always on your computer. And I was like, yeah, I was taking notes. And he's like, yeah, but you're on a computer. And I go, yeah, I take notes on Google Docs and like I type it there and it's everywhere. It's saved and it's done. And he's like, that's not how we do it here. What we do is we write down all of our notes on paper.
I need you to go thinly slice a fucking tree.
Yeah. And then I'll never forget this. He looks at
PTSD.
He looks at me and he goes, and then we go back and digitize it.
Oh my God.
I was like, sir, with all due respect, I'm not doing that. And he's like, well, that's how we do it. And I go, I am not going to write stuff down on paper. And then after a meeting, like 15 to 30 minutes, this is how they plan their day. So a 30-minute meeting will become an hour ordeal. So now you can see why the company doesn't exist anymore. and I knew it. It was just like, it was so rough. And it was things like that all the time. Like I had to explain to them how to like they wanted me to digitize everything. And so I went to this like $300,000 scanner, printer, copier, whatever. I took all the old files they'd kept, moved multiple different buildings. I just put them in there. And I was like, we put this in here and it organizes it. You can search it and it'll pull up the file. And they were just like, wow, that's crazy. We're just going to keep paper copies. Like it was just like one thing after another. Cause I was on the like cutting edge of technology coming into like healthcare, and to see people that were actually like trying to stop it is like a core memory I'll never forget.
Yeah. I used to joke because I worked at a bank out of college for the first 5 years, and it was like I had to ask for permission to use toilet paper when I took a shit. That's where the red tape was everywhere. And
what bank was it, name them?
It was Bank of America Merrill Lynch.
Really?
And they were so...
I was just kidding. I didn't say that.
No, I've talked about it before. Okay. But they were so handcuffed by fucking a million lawyers in a room interpreting laws and then creating guidelines that no one could ever break it. It's like if one person at an enormous bank ever breaks a rule, everyone, regardless of their job role, that's now like, it creates a new requirement that you have just to be able to get through hoops. So as an example, I was not allowed to text clients. This is in 2017, 2018, 2019. Like, I'm not allowed to send a text to a fucking client I work with. That's against the rules. And when I went and left the bank, I was telling my boss, who I was really close with, I was like, listen, I'm a liability. Like, I text people. Okay? Like, this
put that on a shirt.
Yeah,
I'm a liability.
This is not going to work out. And
Sorry,
it just made no sense. And you see why places like that have had to totally change, like, even how they do business and stuff, because people don't want to work there. You know,
it's rough. I actually got offered a job at are they called financial centers? So I got offered a job out of grad school by a guy who was like, you could run this financial center. He's like, you could be the whatever. And this was 2020. And he's like, and I was just like, I don't know, man. I think banks are kind of going the way of the dodo bird. There's like less and less of them. The ATM can literally do everything you need. Mm-hmm. You can deposit your checks with your phone. And he was like, dude, banks will always exist. And I go, I didn't say that. What I said is there's not going to be these anymore
in a different form. Yeah,
and I don't think he works at any of the banks anymore.
Is there a certain age that people hit where they're just like, that's it, no more new shit ever? Because like I experienced this same thing even working in like the trades, where like some of the older dudes that have been doing this for 30 years I would work with, and they would just adamantly hate new power tools that were like extremely fucking convenient. So like as an electrician, you have to cut a lot of like metal piping to run wires through, EMT, rigid conduit, whatever it is. And when I was first an apprentice, they had, recently come out with a portable bandsaw. It's this big. That's awesome. And it's a fucking bandsaw that you can cut metal with a battery from like DeWalt or Milwaukee. Pick it up with your hand and cut the pipe. Up until then, everything was either a big machine they were cutting it on or a fucking hacksaw. Old guys fucking hated it. I had a couple old guys try to tell me that for my first couple years as an apprentice, they wanted me to cut with a hacksaw anyways, because I needed to know how to do it. I was like, I don't need 3 years of experience to know how to cut something with a fucking hacksaw. Okay. A, I already know how to do it. B, that's stupid.
I think you need a day.
I'm not doing it. Like or like even the difference between a regular hand drill and an impact drill. They fucking hated the impact drill, which was hilarious because I don't know what it was with these older guys. It's like they didn't have, I don't know if they didn't play video games growing up.
Control?
They didn't have any throttle control. To them, it was 0 or 100.
Yeah.
So every time they'd go to hit an impact, and they'd go too fast and then fuck up their shit. And I was like, just don't squeeze it all the way. It's fine, bro. Just have a little sensitivity. Your poor wife. This is fucking awful. Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I think it's the two themes of what you're saying are people get used to what they did, and also people want other people after them, the young bucks, to have to go through what they did too. And so the idea that like someone like you could come in and be like, hey, we got these really cool new things that can do the job better. They're like, no, you got to do it. You got to do it. It's like your old math teacher. It's like, no, you have to show the work all the way to it. It's like, but bitch, I got the answer. Doesn't matter.
I loathe the attitude of I did it. You have to suffer through it like I did. I fucking hate it.
I do too.
It is the worst attitude for Social Security.
Here we go.
This is the argument for Social Security of like, I've been getting fucked by the government in this Ponzi scheme my entire life and didn't say anything. And now you have the balls to come in and point out that this is a Ponzi scheme and isn't going to work and it's going to blow up in your face. You need to shut the fuck up and take it just like I did. It's like, no, I don't actually. I hate to break it to you. No. I don't know. I can't.
When does it run out?
Attitude.
2032? I think.
Yeah. Can you explain this to people? Why it's
why do
very
you say
problematic, if you will?
Why do you
call
say
it a
Social
Ponzi
Security
scheme?
is a Ponzi scheme?
Because it fucking is.
I know, but
like,
explain it for internet.
Oh my God. Okay.
Thank you.
One of the problems you have is in a Ponzi scheme, okay, you have, I don't know, a generation of a lot of people. We'll call it, I don't know, the baby boomers.
If you had to name it.
A lot. Big number.
Yeah.
Big number.
Yeah.
And they start at the bottom of this shape. I don't know. We'll call it a triangle or a pyramid, so to speak, like a structure. This big
like a pyramid
population,
scheme, if you will.
this big population starts at the bottom and they start paying into Social Security. They think for some reason that the money is going into a savings account or a retirement account and it's just sitting there waiting for them. It's not. They're taking their money and they're giving it to the older generation above them. Smaller generation. Okay. Not as big, not baby boomers. Okay. Greatest generation. They won World War II. They were awesome. Okay. So they're paying all their money to them. Okay. That's fine. And then they have kids. They go down here, but they're a smaller generation also. Okay. And all their money goes to the big generation. Okay. And then the generation below that's even smaller. And now after, 5 generations, the big part is at the top of the fucking pyramid and there aren't enough people to pay in to fucking get them the money they need.
So what you're saying?
Well, a Ponzi scheme is when there's no underlying asset.
Go.
So there's no underlying asset with Social Security. There isn't. And then you take all the money from the new investors and pay off the old investors, which is exactly what Social Security is doing. It's a fucking Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
Now, how do you fix it?
You fucking quit doing it.
But pull the rug out and say it doesn't exist anymore.
You can, if you wanted to do it the right way and taper it off and make it work, first of all, you come out and say, this was fucking stupid. Here's how we're going to fix the problem. And you tell people, hey, we haven't been giving all your money to a fucking checking account and it's not sitting there anymore. It doesn't fucking exist. Okay. You get a fucking cutoff. First of all, you let people opt in and out of it because right now I've been paying into Social Security since I was 14 years old. If you gave me the option, sign away your rights. We're not going to give you any money back.
I'll do it.
But you never have to pay Social Security again and you're just done. I'm signing that shit so fast. Keep the fucking money. Leave me alone.
That would make too much sense though.
Exactly.
Everyone would opt out.
Yeah.
Everybody else, you taper it off. You say, okay, you're 40, you paid in for this long. We're going to quit collecting Social Security. And then when you reach retirement age, you're going to get this level of benefits for the amount that you paid in. A percentage. Like you paid in 60% of your working life, you're going to get 60% of Social Security. We highly advise that you as an adult take the money you're saving by not paying into Social Security and invest it for your fucking retirement.
Now here's the issue. And because I agree completely. And I think that's the exact way to solve it. But again, it makes too much sense because I remember like I was talking with this guy one time, and this is, at the beginning of my career, whose literal job was like he was a Social Security analyst, and he raised a lot of the same points. Like, yeah, this is the demographics aren't looking too good with this. But I was like, how do you end it? And he said the problem is the minute you come out as a politician, you talk about incentives here, and say, I am for ending Social Security.
You're done.
That's 90% of the time, you're done.
But it's because there's a fundamental misunderstanding, because the amount of people that genuinely have the rebuttal, I paid into it my whole life, that's my money, under the notion of it's sitting in a savings account for me. You're trying to take my money. It's like, no, dude, the government already took your money and gave it to other people and then raided it every time they wanted to go invade the Middle East. And you sat by and did fucking nothing about it your entire life. I'm sorry. That's not my fault. I didn't do that. Just because you were kicking around letting the government fuck you your entire life doesn't mean I'm obligated to do it too for your benefit. Sorry.
100%.
Like, that fucking sucks. You should probably get a hold of the government that did it. Quit getting mad at me for not wanting to get fucked and get mad at the person that's fucking you.
Yes.
Like, that's the analogy I give. Like, if Zach is robbing us, okay, and Zach comes up to you and is like, give me all your money, and you have $500, and then he robs me and I only have $100. Are you going to get mad because you got robbed more than me? Or are you just going to get mad at him because he got robbed? No, you're directing your anger at me because, like, you only lost $100. Right. Shut the fuck up, bro. Like, no, we both got robbed. That fucking sucks. Yep. Let's blame him. But they don't see it that way.
It does seem to be, I don't know if this is the right word. It does seem that there is a generational cognitive dissonance with the baby boomers. I mean, and you know, I guess maybe
baby boomers exposed the fault in democracy as a whole.
Yeah, but they also, you know, caused the opioid crisis, multiple wars, Social Security collapsing. I mean, they literally had the world handed on to them on a platter. It's just like, don't mess it up. We won the war. Do good. And they're like, we're gonna pump GMOs in the food. We're gonna poison the food, and then we're gonna sell heroin through Walgreens because it looks pretty. Because historically, opium has been known to be a good thing. Like that's like the opioid thing bothers me to this day, especially someone in healthcare. I used to see those vultures. You know, they would show up in their high heels and their business suits, and they're just like, you know, just looking at doctors like, you want to go on a free trip? Yeah. All you gotta do is give them clean looking heroin, and like no one blinked. They all were like, oh, it's fine. The study said it's good. Oh, who did the study? Jeff. You know what I mean? Like, they did the study. Oh, so it's an internal study. Yeah, doctors wouldn't lie. Why would doctors lie? Because they get paid more. Like, it's just all this thing. And so it's like one thing after another. And then the biggest boom they're gonna do is we're the ones carrying the bill for all of it. They made all of these problems, generational problems. And now they're looking at us being like, AI's taking jobs. And I'm like, well, you killed all the jobs. You killed all the food. You killed all the things. And then it's just kind of like this. It's really weird, especially when you're in a place of like, and you guys are also in charge of most of the government. Like,
yeah, I think so. Of course, like every generation, there's a subset, and it's a different number. It's just the way humanity works. But there's a subset of people that are either incompetent, evil, or both, right? And they certainly have that. But I think when you have two things take over society, which I would argue it has throughout the life of baby boomers, and that those two things being groupthink and backwards incentives, it causes a passivity, and you said it perfectly, a cognitive dissonance.
Yeah. To
how, you know, oh, this one little block right here is not just one little block. It's one of 1,000 blocks that we're stacking into this entire, it's a card. Mm-hmm. Into an entire house of cards, and eventually the music's going to stop and someone's going to flick it and the whole thing comes down. And they just, when you're putting each card in there one at a time, it's just human nature, the boiling frog idea. Like, you don't think of it that way. And now we're starting to see that frog's getting fucking hot in there. Yeah. And our generation's seeing that, and now the anger's directed. I get it.
The other part is the baby boomers exposed like the flaw in democracy as a whole. Because it's a bigger generation than everybody else. And as a bigger generation, like I said, when, you know, you don't really know yourself in high school because you're growing up around other people all the same age. There's certain fads, there's certain things you want at the same point in time. When the new toy comes out at Christmas, everybody wants that new Nerf gun. Everybody wants the new particular bike at the same time.
Turbo Man.
It's that on a generational level. Mm-hmm. So as a generation around the same time, everybody wants cheap college. And then everybody wants cheap housing. And then everybody wants low taxes. And then everybody gets towards retirement, and then they want benefits like Social Security, which means high taxes. And because they have the bigger voting numbers, they're constantly able to impose what that one generation wants on the rest of society. And they're not even doing it maliciously. They're just coming from the, I'm a person living a day-to-day life. This is what I see in my life that I need, and that's how I'm going to vote. Like, I can't fault them for that, but it exposes the flaw in democracy as a whole. Like, what do you do when one generation of people want something at the same time and they have the voting power to get it, and it's to the detriment of everybody else? And that's what's happening right now.
How would you fix that? Would you do weighted voting or something like that per like year block?
I can't. I don't know.
First of all, I don't think everybody should be allowed to vote anyways.
Ooh, let's have that conversation.
Maybe that should be like an actual starting point.
You don't think everyone should be allowed to vote?
Absolutely fucking not. I can tell you the moment I came to this conclusion.
Okay.
I was at a Verizon.
Yeah.
I was getting a new phone, and it was me, some other dude in a dirty high-vis shirt that clearly just got off of work. It's like 6 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm getting my photos and stuff transferred onto my new phone. And it's like, I got the Verizon guy helping me, Verizon guy helping him, and a third Verizon guy just kind of standing there, and we're all chatting while things are getting done. And this 60-year-old woman comes storming in Verizon with a fucking attitude. She's holding a surge protector, you know, like the power strip with like 7 plugins on it. She's holding that and a fucking phone charger in her hand. And she walks up and is like, you sold me this yesterday and it doesn't work. I'm watching, like I'm engaged now. And the Verizon guy's like, what do you mean it doesn't work? Like it won't charge your phone? And she goes, no, I can't even plug it in. And you know how the fucking phone chargers now, the prongs fold in because some asshole stepped on it one time. So now they have to fold in so you don't step on them. She grabs it with the prongs folded in and just smacks the two pieces together like a fucking caveman that doesn't know how fire works, and looks at him and goes, see? And he folds the prongs out and plugs it in. And then she realizes that she's a fucking moron and goes, thanks, and walks out. So yes, not everybody should be allowed to vote. It was a fucking 2-piece puzzle with one moving part.
I have the thought every time I go through TSA and they're like, no belt, no shoes, no laptops. There's signs. There's a guy doing it. 9/11 happened a fuck ton of years ago, and everyone in there is just like, do I wear my belt? What about my laptop? Sir, do you have a laptop? No, but if I wanted to bring one later, do I need to scan it? No shirt, no belt. I mean, no shoes, no belt, no laptop. I don't have any shoes. Do you need them? I have preach it. Or like, that's when I'm like,
the older I get, the more pro barriers to entry I am. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I want barriers to, I don't care what it is at this point. Give me any standard to become a voter. I'll take it.
I want you to dream with me for a minute. I want you to
I want you to dream
with me. All right? Dream with me, brother. I want you to go back about 89 miles from here, give or take. Maybe it's 91. I haven't looked.
Fuck, I'm gonna have to have somebody pump my gas.
And the year, no, you won't. No, you won't. You won't, because gas ain't around yet, and you're on the other side of the border.
Oh, okay.
I want you to go back to 1776 in a little beer hole in fucking Philadelphia.
okay.
I'm not even going to the Constitution in New York. I'm saying before then, when these guys were like, "Yo, fuck this tyranny. We're out."
Type shit. Yeah.
These are the guys that then we're just going to give them the credit of 13 years later came to an agreement that, you know, we got this thing set up and people can vote on who their elected representatives are. What do you think they would say about imposing some sort of ban on people voting?
They did that. What are we talking about?
What do you mean they did that?
In 1776, the founding fathers did not fucking be like, everybody gets an equal say. You had to own land. You had to be an American. You had to be invested in the system. You had to have something at stake. You had to be a stakeholder in America. You had to be a landowner. At no point did the founding fathers just be like, everybody gets a fucking vote.
But
never happened.
So they didn't let women vote. They obviously didn't let slaves vote and stuff like that. But I'm saying, like, at the time, the cultural standard was like, men in society are allowed to vote. So when
land owning men
only. So in 1789, when they codified the Constitution, it was only
double check me.
landowners
I'm
were allowed
almost
to do it?
positive you had to be a landowner. There was criteria.
That's interesting.
Nick's never wrong.
There
I didn't know
was.
that.
This is my life.
There's more criteria on
This is
top
my
of
life,
that too.
basically.
But what was that criteria to vote when the country was founded? Because it was not just white men. Like, it wasn't just like a racial thing. You had to be a land-owning American citizen.
I didn't know that.
That's why I love the internet. We can just double check.
That's it. That's why Dave's here. There's a whole. I see he's got like a whole timeline of when it was, but we're just trying to go to 17.
I just want like a nice list, you know.
Because obviously, like there were other things, as I said, that they were totally behind on, but just like in general of what was how society viewed it. I don't know, the everyman at the time, which excluded people.
Here we go.
All right, so 1789, white male, virtually universal restriction. So that would, okay. So age 21 or older, property ownership or tax-paying status. Most states required owning land to vote. A few states allowed taxpayers without property to vote instead of or in addition to land. So you're correct. Several states also imposed religious tests, which required voters to be Protestant or Christian. A few excluded Catholics or Jews from voting or holding the office outright. Free status, enslaved people could not vote. And then it doesn't say women on here, but women couldn't vote either at the time. Residency, typically some minimum period living in the state or country. That's interesting. So they did have restrictions on it.
Yes.
So at some point this changes and we get to where everyone can vote. So
And
that
now
kind of
it's-
takes
it's-
away my
now
dream scenario right
Now
there.
it's illegal to fucking ask for an ID to vote in California.
That's
You don't
crazy.
even have to be an American
That's
citizen.
fucking
That's
nuts.
fucking absurd.
It's nuts.
Like, I mean, if you just gave me, you got to be an American citizen, and you have to. I would like it if you were actually a tax-paying member of society.
Yeah.
I just want to know that you're paying into the system. Okay. And like, I'm willing to give exemptions for people that are genuinely like actually disabled and can't work a job. Like, sure.
And what about
That's
surge
fine.
protector lady? What if she was paying taxes?
You know what? I'll take it. If you were giving me that, like, bro, she works a job and she's a productive member of society, she's just a fucking moron, I'll fucking take it. It's better than the standards we have now. Do I want some higher standards than that in my dream scenario? Sure. But I'll take any standards you fucking give me at this point, because right now there are none.
Right. The no ID thing is crazy. I have never heard a coherent argument for why someone
Because there
should
isn't
not-
one.
There isn't one for why someone shouldn't present ID to prove that they're a fucking citizen of the country or a resident of the state and area.
Just to verify your address that you're at the right
It's-
polling
Or just to
station.
verify you only voted once.
It's
Yeah,
nuts.
I mean, it's,
What the fuck is stopping me from, like, I really want this mayor to win and there's 15 precincts to vote in? I'm going to go to every fucking precinct and vote because they don't know who the fuck I am.
Yeah. I do remember, and I wish I could remember the detail right now, so I don't want to say it and get it wrong. But when I voted, I'm remembering like the big one, when I went into the 2024 cycle, which was the presidential cycle, I remember something happened when I checked in and then got to the ballot box, and I was like, I didn't have to do anything. Maybe it was something like I didn't even have to show my ID
I didn't
or
have to show
something,
anything.
something like that. But I remember going in and I'm like, this feels kind of like the third grade class president one. Like they didn't even check what grade I'm in. You know what I mean?
I showed up for a recent election for my congressman, and I had my voter registration card, my ID, and they're like, "You don't need any of that." And I was like, "Don't like that. Don't like that
I'm not
answer
trying
at
to be
all."
a dick, but like, it shouldn't be easier to open up a fucking Gmail or easier to vote than it is to open up a Gmail.
Agreed.
Or to do anything on the internet.
Yeah.
I can't get shit on the internet without at least giving them my name and my email address.
I agree with that.
Like, give me anything to
Yeah.
prove you're one person.
Yeah, more the reason. So I'm absolutely on the same page with like barriers to entry, like you said with that. But like whenever like the in the store, whenever I hear that, it's like it's what I'm getting at is it's a subjective thing. So you could be technically the way a slippery slope tyranny could start is you'd be like, I think that guy's stupid, so he can't vote. And then the next guy down below is less stupid, but they keep using the precedent. That's why I asked that question the way I did. But like, if there's like some requirements like, oh, I don't know, you're paying taxes into the system like you're a functional member of society, that's probably fair. Yeah.
Maybe a general intelligence test. I mean, you do have to take a version of, I think it's called the Minnesota multi-something inventory. I can't remember what it's called now, but even when you get a hunter safety license, you have to take like a test to make sure that you're not psychotic. And it's like, you see two deer in a parking lot. Do you A, not shoot them, B, hit them with a car, C, all the above? Like, it's questions like that. And by the way, there were people when I got it at 15 that failed. Like, they didn't even make it to the shooting portion. But there's like a general thing. We could ask questions like, Do you think the moon is made of cheese? A, yes. B, maybe. C, ribs. Like, there has to be like a general knowledge thing that can be applied to like it's applied to everything else in life. So why can't it be applied to voting? Because it's probably the most important thing. That is a good
point, because the military's got it pretty dialed in with the ASVAB. You go in, you take a test for the military, and the military says you are qualified to do these jobs. You are smart enough to be able to learn these skills and perform these tasks. Why can't we do that with, we do that with all kinds of shit.
You take it when you do the ASVAB.
Unpopular opinion. I want more age restrictions. I'm so sick of the age bullshit arguments. Because
more age restrictions.
Like we said over there, you had to be 21 to vote. And I don't even like the age restriction part. Like, I just want some criteria to be met. Right. And whether that's like military service, automatically you're allowed to start fucking voting. Like, I was signed up for the military before I was allowed to vote or drink.
Yeah.
Like, if you're in the military, you should be allowed to vote. I think if you don't want to go in the military and you still want to be able to vote, absolutely. I think you should have to pay X amount of taxes on a delay. If you're making $1 million at 20 years old and you're paying a shit ton, absolutely, you should be able to vote. If you're making minimum wage or whatever, like, you'll get there in 3-4 years to be able to vote. Have some kind of, like, you're invested in society. You have a track record of performance and being a productive member of society.
I'll tell you one thing that is an interesting idea that I've thought about before. You know, when did they even come up with 18, Dave? Can we look that up? It's been a while. What if you had it to where, like, if I go to rent a car, you got to be 25 years old. And part of that is, there's literal science about brain development, but also it's like, this is someone who's now had, hypothetically, on the average, if they went to college, standard college, like, they have at least 3 years, like, out in the real world to understand consequences of life and things like that. I think someone should probably have spent 3 years in the real world to be able to know, like, oh, that's how my billing works. Oh, that's how accounting works. Oh, that's how people, like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't know anything when I was 18 years old, and they're like, you can go vote.
That's
now.
What I want. I just want criteria that we can fucking look at, because I'm sick of the age arguments where it's like, I think a 16-year-old should be allowed to vote because it's their future too. But also, when that same 16-year-old commits a fucking crime and somebody winds up dead,
that's right.
Oh, he's just a kid. He can't be held responsible for his actions. If he can't be held responsible for his actions, why are we allowing him to dictate what direction all of fucking society goes?
Agree.
Like, it's
want
bullshit.
It both ways.
Either you're an adult or you're not. I want a solid criteria on when you're a fucking adult and you get to be treated that way.
Yeah.
30.
Period. And I even hear the stupid argument on the internet like, well, we should actually, their brain isn't fully developed, like you said, until they're 25 or 26. So they should be treated like a kid. Fuck you. I was 25. If I got pissed off and like did some illegal shit, I absolutely should have been thrown in prison at 25. I knew better. I hate that. I just want people to be like, you're an adult. Actions have consequences. Yeah. There's benefits to being an adult. There's downsides. You get them all. You can't fucking pick and choose 24/7. It drives me fucking nuts.
Yeah, and by the way, Deef pulled it up. It was 1971 where Amendment 26 of the Constitution lowered the voting age to 18 years. But again, also, like, somewhere along the way in society, and fuck if I know where it was, like, is probably a slow descent. There were basic civility standards that just slowly went away, you know, to where people could get away with more things, or society, I don't know, accepted more behaviors it wouldn't have in the past. And like, when I look at something like 1971, where an age where it gets lowered to 18, that's, you know, that's a different kind of 18-year-old than it is today. You know, there's just some realities that 18-year-old understands that today's 18-year-old doesn't have, today's 23-year-old doesn't have a fucking clue about.
Yeah, because your grandparents were in the Depression.
Right.
And like, you have perspective. I mean, that's really what's lacking as a whole is like, I think we should mandate some form of civil service. I don't know what that looks like. I don't think it should be military for everyone. That's a hard stop. But I think if we gave everyone like out of high school like a year or 2 years, whatever, work at a nonprofit, you know, go for Habitat for Humanity, do whatever you want to do.
Yes.
Just do something and learn more about the world than the world you live in. It'll help to shape everything about the rest of your life in a positive way. And like, you'll actually have some sort of investment in your future. And you're like, oh, I've actually like experienced different things, as opposed to like, because K through 12, you don't really have any real life experiences that you can pull from unless like your life's hard or you have different things like that. That's like personal, but like I don't know, because like my time in the military really helped to shape me as a person. I had a horrible childhood growing up, but like it also exposed me to things I never thought possible. Like, and not that everyone should join the military, but it also got me to college for free. It also changed the course of my life. I got 2 degrees out of it. Like,
think about just the culture shock of going to basic training, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm
going
saying.
to basic training at 18 years old, you show up, I moved around a lot. I'm a bad example, but like hypothetically, I grew up in Iowa my entire life, in small town Iowa, surrounded by corn. Okay. Like everybody was into the same things. And now I'm going to basic training with a 33-year-old that just got a divorce, had a midlife crisis, divorced his wife. He's in one bunk next to me. The other bunk next to me is a 20-year-old kid from Chicago who, had a completely different upbringing than I did. I'm going to become friends with both these people from completely different walks of life. And there's 50 other people in the platoon that all have extremely other different walks of life. I'm going to have to learn how to work together with these people, be a team, care about them. And at the end of the day, realize that we're all Americans and we got to fucking work together.
Yes.
That's crazy impactful being 18 years old and then getting to live the rest of your life understanding that. And a lot of these kids are just like, oh, I graduated from high school. What college are you going to? We should all go to college together. And you live in this fucking bubble
Even
the
when
entire
they
time.
don't, though, to your point, Zach, it's like if there's some level of civil service you're doing, whatever it is, you're working for something that is in some way like an actual cause or something bigger than you that helps build like a cultural bond. It's not to say college isn't fun and you don't meet people from different walks of life, because I mean, I did, and I think that's great. But like, you're going there, you're doing your classes yourself, and then you're going out there and you're partying and having a good time. It's not like a higher calling in that way, nor is it supposed to be. But if you said like, hey, for like a year out of college, everyone is required to do something that at least gives them some perspective on life. Yeah, I think that would be worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, you go to somewhere where they have like rolling brownouts, not even blackouts, just rolling brownouts where electricity is not common. Most parts of Europe don't have air conditioning. You go to other countries that you've heard about, but then you go there and you're like, holy shit, this is crazy. Like those are the things that help to shape you as a person. I mean, like I grew up in Memphis and, prior to the military, people from the Northeast were like in movies. Like I'd never met people from New York, and it's like cliche. It's my friends like, hey, my name's Tony, like it's all like the most, hey, I'm from Cape Cod, from on Cape or off Cape, or Yenzas from Pennsylvania. Like I'd never met people like that. I'd just seen them. And I was like, wow, this is wild. Like I'd never, but
they don't
like,
pump their own gas.
They don't pump their own gas, those cowards. Like, but like Nick's right. Like you never, outside of that, that's the only time you'd ever meet people. I mean, now people do like more often because of like remote work and things like that. But like you learn cultural things, and there's just little differences that you learn about people. And like, unless you're like trying to break that, you're not going to do it. I think it's actually popular in either Europe or Australia. I can't remember where, but they do a sabbatical where they're like, hey, you got to go. They send you out. Like after
it's the Amish. It's Rumspringa.
I mean, even they're doing it. But like they go out for a year and they just travel the world, or they do something like, I mean, think about how awesome it would be. Like if you're like, hey, just go to Australia or whatever, you got to work with this nonprofit. They help, make sure people don't kill all the kangaroos or something. I don't know, just making stuff up. But how else would you get there any other way? I would be okay actually putting my tax dollars towards something like that. Like if you're like, hey, this is like, I hate to say it's Social Security, but like some sort of stipend that'll go is like, as long as you're doing this, we're going to give you X amount of dollars. It's enough to live on, and you can go on this thing because it will help to make you a better informed member of society. Because that's the biggest problem. People who are in the military as opposed to outside the military is like you get exposed to a lot of different things, and you see the world a whole lot differently as opposed to people who aren't, who are just like hearing about it. And like everyone's like, the government's like doing this and stuff. Like, yeah, they're all obviously doing things, but as someone who's also in the government, everyone's also pretty fucking dumb. Like it's not
let's not give the government too much credit. They're not that smart.
Everyone's like, oh, there's like one guy. No, dude, there's not. Like there's not that many people that are like that sharp or smart. I mean, it's like SEAL Team 6. Even them, they're full of morons. Like they can just hold their breath for a long time, so they get movie deals.
How long were you in the military when you were there?
4 years.
Was it something you always wanted to do, or?
Oh, dude, I was made for it. I'm a child.
Made for it.
Yeah, I'm a child of trauma, poor white trash. There was nothing. Nothing than my family knew other than like how to break the cycle of poverty, other than like do a trade, be a mechanic, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. My father did it. His father did it. His father before him. You know, the first bell was probably looking at Mr. Ford being like, I think there might be something here, Mr. Henry. You know what I mean? Like, we were made to turn wrenches. But I also saw my father and my stepfather and my grandfather, I would always see them in the morning rubbing their hands. Because you can only turn a wrench for so long. Right. You can only do things. And every morning they would like warm up and do these like stretches and stuff. And then they'd light a cigarette and head out to the car. So what's tough about growing up in poverty, nobody really talks about, is you don't have an example of like how to get outside of it. Like there's no like, you know, Uncle Mike did this and now he, you know, he has a mortgage and he has a house and he goes on vacation once a year. Like there's nothing, you know, it's just my grandmother telling me to start a side business, which is code for steal Freon and sell it on the side, or, you know, scrap copper when nobody's looking, things like that.
God, I miss Freon.
I do too. I miss the cold stuff that was punching holes through the ozone. I mean, we were so poor. I remember when we got a car with the air conditioning, I was like, technology is the fucking best. Wow. Like literally, I remember seeing it frost the vents. And I don't care what it did to the ozone. This other stuff is nothing compared to it.
Dude.
What was it? I think it was 134A.
I need to do a video on this.
Maybe? Because like the new ones, I could be wrong. It doesn't matter.
It's because the fucking patents run out. That's why.
And so someone has to make a new formula?
Yes.
So they just spit in a cup and
I got a new AC in my house and I'm like homies with the guy that did it for me. And he's like, I'm warning you right now. This is not going to be as cold as your last unit. And I'm like, why? It's newer. It should be getting colder as time goes on. Like this is it. What do you mean? Technology has improved. Why is my AC getting shittier? And he's like, the new chemical, the Freon replacement, the refrigerant, basically they came out with, you know, new environmental regulations. We got to use this new stuff. It's not as efficient. So then I go and I look into it and it's like conveniently when they make these new formulas, they have a patent period where one company owns it. They're allowed to make all the fucking money from this refrigerant. And conveniently, as soon as that patent fucking expires, that, you know, oh, there's a new environmental thing. This is actually bad for the environment. But we have this new one that's better for the environment. Now you have to use this one. Sign that shit into law.
As luck would have it, we have a new formula. Isn't that something?
Every fucking time.
I hate them. But yeah, no, I watched Live Leak when I was little. Well, when I should have been watching it. 9/11 happened when I was in 8th grade.
You remember where you were?
Yeah, my mother called me and said, you need to stay home because I was going to walk to the bus stop. And so it's like 8 o'clock our time. So it's 9 o'clock New York time. And so I was like, what's happening? She's like, something's bad happening. Turn on the TV. And I literally grabbed my brother. I was like, we're not going to school. And like, he at first didn't believe me. And he was like scared that I was going to get us in trouble for skipping. I was like, no, Mom said to stay home. And so I turned on the TV, and right when I did was when the second plane hit the second tower. I was like,
you're old enough to, in 8th grade, you're old enough to grasp that.
And my cousin joined the Marines about 4 years before I did. He's 4 years older than me, and he went to Iraq twice. And then I was like watching stuff on Live Leak. Like there's like dudes like with M203s like launching grenades, going like click, click, boom. And like I was like locked in on the family computer that took forever to like load and dial up. And I'm just like waiting. I'm like, show me the war, show me the war. And then, you know, I went into the recruiter's office and I was like, I want to be in the infantry. And they're like, you can do whatever you want. And I was like, I don't want to do that. And they're like, well, this is kind of like that. And I'm like, I'm not doing kind of, you know, I'm not going to roll the dice on maybe. And the Marine Corps at that time had like, you would pick a field, you pick the infantry field, and then you get a job when you go to your MOS school. And I wanted to be 0311 infantry rifleman, and that's what I picked. And
why'd you want to be that?
I wanted to go on an adventure. I didn't want to risk not having that opportunity.
No, fuck you. Tell the story.
I wanted to kill shit.
Tell the story of the speeches when they brought in the riflemen.
I mean,
well,
that was
gunner.
infantry in general. But yeah, so you go to the School of Infantry, and so what happens is combat MOSs go to like one side of the camp, non-combat MOSs go to the other side. They do 21 days in the field. They do a bunch of hikes. They get exposed. Like they sit behind a 240. They shoot a few rounds. They get up and they go to another thing. 21 days in the field consecutively honestly sucks. But that's it's like drinking water from a fire hose. Like they're exposed and they go off to whatever school camp they're doing. Well, all of the infantry guys are brought in this auditorium. and there's multiple MOSs that are pitched at you. And they come out, and these instructors, you get to pick like which one you want to do, and based on your scores and other factors, they match you to whatever. And so the first guy comes out, and he's an 0351 assaultman, and he's like, "Hey, my name's Sergeant So and So. You like rockets? You like blowing shit up? You want to be a man? Be an assaultman." Rah, rah, rah. And everyone's like, you're like, it's just a bunch of dudes be like, you know. And then next guy comes up, Hey, I'm Sergeant So and So. I'm a mortarman. You want to drop steel rain on top of the enemy? You want to play some cards? You want to do some spades? Be an 0341 mortarman. Rah, rah, rah. And it's like going on. And then there's this guy who comes out, looks like a fucking fullback. And he's like, "My name's Sergeant So and So. I'm a machine gunner. You want to put rounds on the target from a click away? You want to fucking carry big guns? You pick 0331 today." Boom. And everybody's like, "Wow." And I'll never forget this one guy. I fucking wish I could know his name. He comes out and he takes his can of dip and fucking puts a dip in. He goes, "My name's Sergeant So and So. You want to be in charge of these fucking idiots? Pick 0311. and so I wrote down 0311 3 times, and I turned it in, and they're like, "Yeah, you're an idiot. We were obviously going to pick you." But yeah.
Oh my God.
And so then that was it. Went off to my unit. They had just got back from Ramadi. It was like being dropped off in a prison complex.
What year is this? Like 05?
This is 07. Okay. So I went in February 07. I got there July.
I didn't know that. You got in right when they got back from Ramadi?
Brother.
Bro, you're the fresh meat in a prison at that point.
So
holy shit.
It sucks. So you get picked up from receiving, you gather all your gear, an obnoxious amount of gear that you put in a sleeping bag, and you're dragging it across the lawn, and they're catcalling you and throwing shit at you. "Hey, fuck you, boot." That's the lowest level of term to be called in the military, because you're fresh out of boot camp, you haven't deployed, you get called a boot. It's our version of like the worst word ever. And so they're throwing stuff at you. You have to run past them. Like the first 2 weeks, I basically just got tortured, like digging fighting holes and filling them back up, running past doors, plotting points on a map underneath a gas mat with a gas mask on, underneath a poncho in a shower, like all sorts of crazy shit. Some of my best friends, but like nothing that was like ever derogatory or degrading. It was just like
no elephant walk or anything like that.
Oh, you know that?
Oh yeah, I heard about that one.
Oh, you heard about the pickles and all that stuff? Yeah.
I don't know about pickles. I've heard about the elephant walk.
Yeah, no, nothing like that. Because like honestly, the reality is you can't push people too far. You're all depending on each other in a worst case scenario.
Right.
So you don't know if that kid's gonna like remember the time that you fucking made him run naked somewhere and somebody saw him or whatever it was. And these were like hard dudes. They had done multiple Iraq deployments, and I just kind of like fell in, and I was like, I'm gonna treat this like a job. Treat it like a job, and we did a workup and went on my first deployment to Garmser, Afghanistan in the March of 2008.
What was that like? I've heard so many stories in here from so many different guys across many different units who talk about, in particularly Afghanistan, starting in like 07, 08, all the way to like 2015, and how fucking crazy it was.
Yes.
What was it like when you got there?
So when we got there, I left a few days after my first daughter was born. Basically a week from the time she was born until I got there. And I thought I was going to like land on like Dune. Like I thought it was just going to be like rockets going off everywhere. And I land, the first thing I can see is a fucking Burger King. So I go to eat at Burger King. Shout out Dick Cheney, friend of the show.
What a flex.
Thanks.
What a
thank you,
flex.
sir. I don't think you're dead. But
you don't think he's dead?
No, dude.
You think he's alive?
Why would he stop giving up hearts that he was harvesting every few years? Like all of a sudden he's going to collapse. There's no way. I'm pretty sure he reached in his heart.
I'm the president of the Dick Cheney hate club, so I'm not arguing with any of it. But
he's the Halliburton.
I hope that motherfucker was dead.
Dude, he's like Tony Stark. He just took a new battery out and put one in. You know what I'm saying?
Me and him had to go to the George Bush Center or some shit. They did not like us cracking Dick Cheney jokes every 30 seconds.
Yeah. When did you go to the George Bush Center?
A month ago.
Or something.
Yeah, we got invited.
I thought W and fucking Dick Cheney weren't on the best terms when he died.
Well, all I know is they didn't like our jokes. But yeah, it was funny. It was just me and Nick making like Dick Cheney Bush jokes the entire time. Other people were there, but it was literally just me and him passing the mic back and forth. But that was like my first meal, and there's an acclimatization period. And that was in Kandahar Airfield, which in the early 2000s, there was nothing. But by that time, there was a ton of stuff. Toby Keith came out to visit us, blah, blah, blah. That's a cool story. But we're waiting, and then they're like, hey, the mission launch, we're going to go out, secure this area, and you're going to stay there for 7 to 10 days. That's what they told us. And my unit had for some reason, they did a drug test before we deployed. Now, I'm not condoning or endorsing the use of drugs. Going to war, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ask me no questions, I'll tell you no lies. So when they did the drug test across the entire battalion, there was over 30 people that popped because it was snowing in Camp Lejeune at that time. I mean, it was
good ski slopes. Right?
Yeah, brother. It was wild. And so they ended up reorganizing the entire battalion, which is highly unusual. So I was in this platoon called 3rd Platoon. I think I moved to 2nd Platoon. And I went from basically being in like the worst platoon with like a platoon sergeant who was relieved of command in boot camp because, as he said, I get too excited. That's how he always said. He's like, I get really hands-on. And like he was known for that. And so
that could mean a lot of things.
Yeah, it means what you think it means. I mean, for them to fire a drill instructor in the early 2000s is pretty rough. But we went out there, engaged the enemy. That deployment, we literally had every asset in the world, direct assets, air, indirect fire, mortars, and like we were like on top of the battle space the entire time. The living conditions were nightmarish because you were just outside the entire time, like doing posts for 4 to 6 hours at a time, doing a patrol, and just kept doing that back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And it was dangerous and it was hard. I didn't call home for 90 days. There was a lot of that stuff. But that deployment overall, like in the grand scheme of things, was like a good deployment for like getting your feet wet. Now, when we did the invasion of Marja in 2010, completely different scenario.
What was so different about that?
So in that point in 2010, Marja was where there was a ton of dope. And so that was where the Taliban were getting a lot of their money, and we were trying to interdict that movement. Very famously, Geraldo Rivera went around that area and was like, these Marines are guarding the poppies. And that was actually not far from where I was. And that was in December of 2010, but we left in late 2009, and my wife was pregnant with our second child then, because they had told us during the workup, you guys are going to be shutting down bases in Iraq. And I was like, great. It's going to be maybe a 90-day deployment. We'll come home. So we started planning our second child.
And then they switched it to Afghanistan and like a real, wow.
Yeah. It was when President Obama went to West Point. They told us like hours beforehand, hey, there's going to be a troop surge in Afghanistan, and that's you. And so that deployment was highly documented. It's very famous. There's a speech. Fuck it. You can play it? Yeah. It's Gunny Walgren's speech. It's on my YouTube, Veteran with a Sign. So this guy, Gunny Walgren, is like my mentor in the infantry. I'd known him the whole time, and he was known for giving these speeches. And the whole day prior to us leaving, there was a fuck ton of speeches, like to a point to where my junior Marines were like, yo, are we going to be okay? I was like, I don't know, because this has never happened before. They're talking to us a lot. Like it was gnarly. Yeah, there it is. This is fucking great. So I'm here. You can't really tell, but like I'm across the other side of the field.
Back in the 280p days.
Yeah. Well, right. It was secret, but this is perfect.
All right, let's see.
CNN, we got to be done with this. Where's the combat camera at? Marines, you're done. Camera's off. CNN, no, negative. I agree with one thing that's been said. It is about how good you look. These camis make my butt look fucking awesome. I see a whole bunch of do-rags. That motivates the shit out of me. Fucking professionals. Why professionals? Is that what we're called? I think y'all are some crazy goddamn motherfuckers. Not one speech. Now, we've been talking about this. I'm kind of upset about the general speech. I'm kind of upset about the battalion commander speech. I haven't got any fucking goosebumps yet. Have y'all been motivated about this? Oh. I know y'all figured out another secret that the Marine Corps has. We don't tell you shit, and we play games. Man, I knew we were leaving tonight fucking 7 months ago. Didn't tell y'all because we want you to get fucking pissed off. You might be envisioning us when you kill the enemy. But motherfucker, you're gonna be pissed. Marja. Fuck that. What do y'all want to hear? Y'all want to hear the white sleeves? I'm not doing the fucking white sleeve. We gotta fucking step across this parade deck and it's goddamn cold. I'm not doing that shit. Don says I don't like you. The white sleeves, that's too long. Y'all know John Glenn's speech, right? Did I tell you that yet? All right, we'll do that. We'll do that real quick.
Huh?
Is he ripping a bow?
Dude, he would only smoke cowboy killers and Red Bull. That's all he would live
got
on.
time. John Glenn. John Glenn, first American to orbit the Earth in space. Killed. Was a senator for the state of Ohio. Oldest man to go back up into space because he's a PT god. Before all of that, he was a fucking Marine. An air winger, though, a pilot. Right, Captain Smith? Right, have that camera. Get the fuck away from me. John Glenn, 1974, ran for Senate against a politician named Howard Metzenbaum. Howard Metzenbaum was a sorry motherfucker. John Glenn, at this point, was a Marine. First American to orbit the Earth in space. Howard Metzenbaum asked him, how can you run for Senate when you never held a job? What the fuck would you do if somebody said that shit to you? Now, I'm going to change a little bit of this.
Yeah.
It's my world. John Glenn said, is that right? I served 23 years in the United States Marine Corps. I fought through 2 wars. I flew 149 missions. My plane was hit by an aircraft fire on 12 different occasions. I was in the space program. It wasn't my job. It was my life that was on the line. And this wasn't a 9-to-5 job where I could take time off to take the daily cash receipts to the bank. I asked you to come with me as I went the other day to a veterans hospital. And you stand there. You look at those men with their mangled bodies. You look them in the eye and tell them that they never held a job. You come with me and visit any Gold Star mother. You look her in the eye and tell her her son never held a job. You come with me to the space program and visit the widows and the orphans of Ed White, Gus Grissom, and Roger Chafee. And you look those kids in the eye and tell them that their dads never held a job. You come with me on this Memorial Day weekend coming up to Arlington National Cemetery, where I got more friends than I'd like to remember. And you stand there. You watch those waving flags. You think about this nation, and you tell me that those people never held a job. Fuck! I'll tell you, Howard Metzenbaum, you should be on your knees every day of your life, thanking God that there are some men who have held a job. And they required a dedication to purpose, a love of country, and a dedication to duty that was more important than life itself. Their self-sacrifice is what made this country fucking possible. Isn't that badass? Fuck you all. Isn't that badass? Hey, Roger that. Hoopy, are you motivated? I see you're too right, quiet professionals. Fuck all that. Fuck all this talk about doing what you've been trained to do. You all know damn well you get out there and you fucking do shit because of the Marine to your left and the Marine to your fucking right. God, country, and Corps don't matter at that fucking point. Let the Taliban throw the fucking women and children in front. We won't shoot. We'll just fucking creep out around them with a cup of coffee, slap them on the fucking shoulder and say, what the fuck is your problem, bitch? Fuck them. Let them try to fight the United States Marine Corps Conventional. What the fuck is wrong with the stupid motherfuckers? Shoot at me. Bring the AA gun down, bitch. Let's fucking do this. You're gonna do what you need to do for fucking each other, not for anybody else. And it's tomorrow, or maybe in a couple days, it might take a little bit longer than that. The people of Marja will be on their knees every day of their fucking life, thanking God that angry. The string has been cut loose. They can't fucking stop us now. What the fuck are they gonna do now? Shit, fuck you, get up.
So you were standing right there.
Right there, yeah. It's literally right there.
Speech. Is he from South Jersey?
I can't say where he's from. He's very, very secretive.
I'm detecting an either Delco or South Jersey accent.
I can tell you that he's everything that you want a Marine to be. He spent his entire life in the infantry. He was a fucking badass. He would show up in the company parking lot in a Porsche. Like everyone else would drive like sedans or normal stuff. He'd show up. Bell, what the fuck are you doing? And like literally, and I'm like, I don't know, Gunny. He's like, see my Porsche? I've got a few of them. And like, so what he did his entire career is he actually bought land I don't want to be too specific, but basically all around North Carolina and the coast, and he turned them into rental properties.
Oh, wow.
So he's always had a bag, and like he just loved the Marine Corps. And he loved being a Marine.
That's a fucking amazing speech.
And like that was, I mean, like absolute dog trash. No one wants to hear from a fucking general, a colonel, whatever. Like from there, we then walked to the flight line because it wasn't built yet with all of our gear, and then the mission launched. And
how many of those guys didn't make it back?
I'll have to get the exact number, but we lost a lot. We lost a lot.
And that's what always strikes me with something like that, because you're talking about this as a speech given before a mission that he knew was going to be serious, and he knows when he's standing there that some of the kids, getting pumped up and laughing along with his jokes and stuff, and in his somber tone, it's like they're not all going to make it back. And I always imagine what that must feel like for a guy like him who's been there, done that, and knows the cost, but still has to like get everyone ready to fucking go. There's something really, really heavy about that, but also it takes like a special person to be able to pull that off.
Well, what was unique about him is in the Marine Corps, the way it works is you have an E8 who's like a first sergeant in the infantry, and master sergeant, whatever, and E8, and it's their job to do like administrative things, right? So he was the company gunnery sergeant, so it's his job to oversee like operations and logistics, but he's the most senior tactical advisor. So he's talking to the platoon commanders, which are lieutenants who just graduated college. They've never deployed anywhere. And it's his job to shape them and also keep their platoon counterparts, staff NCOs accountable. But he's the subject matter expert for a company, which is 4 platoons, all things warfare. Like it's his job to know it front to back. And he was just a fucking G, is a fucking G to this day. Like he convinced the battalion that he needed about 5 vehicles for a logistics log train. He didn't need that. He made him wanted it. He made a mobile QRF, and so he'd be like, "Oh yeah, we're delivering water," and you would just hear like a machine gun going up. He's like, Angry Six inbound. He's just like laying down rounds. He's like, "Oh yeah, we're dropping chows too," like because that's how he would do it. And I don't know, that deployment from start to front was gnarly.
What did you guys do right after that? Like when you
went
went in?
Straight to the flight line, landed in the middle of a field. There were some AA guns that went off, shot some of the helicopters, not ours, thank God. We had APOBs. You know what an APOB is? It is made to clear a minefield. So it's a rocket with a bunch of grenades attached to the side of it on strings, and you shoot it, and it should have a meter of clearance. Unless one of the grenades flies up, and then that's in God's hands. It happens all the time though, and we were like going into clear pathways so that the rest of the units could come in and basically just take over this town. And then we would break it up in different areas of operation and just try and interdict and stop Taliban movement throughout the area by cutting off the supply line to their heroin.
And how long were you out there?
210 days the entire time. So like a month. It's basically like 2 or 3 weeks on the front end, and then like a week or 2 on the back. But you're out there consecutively the entire time.
Did it feel like we were winning at that point?
The first deployment did. We definitely affected change. I mean, I remember on my first tour, we went to this schoolhouse that like someone had built. I don't remember, some NGO, and there was blood on the walls, and the blood was from the Taliban beheading children that went to the school, and then they would use their blood to write like "Don't go there." And the whole time we were there, we were able to change that. We were able to change that into where children were able to go back to school and actually like have a place to stay where they were safe. And so that was stuff that I saw firsthand on my first tour. The second tour, I don't know what does winning look like. We made the area we were in safer. I will say that. But like I was never like malicious towards the locals. Like I wasn't like, why don't you believe in me? Like they know we're coming and going. They're just trying to bet on the horse that'll take them the farthest,
right.
And when you got the Taliban coming through, hanging up people by chains, dragging them through the streets, cutting people's heads off, lighting families on fire, like the most horrible shit. Like a lot of it's, not to downplay it, it's theatrical, but it's a show of force through violence to get them to submit. And, they don't grow poppy because they want to. They do because Taliban's like, you're growing poppy. Well, I don't want to. We're going to kill your entire family. Okay, I'll grow poppy. Like it's not, and you add in other effects too, like the imams, which are the religious leaders in a place that has a dangerously low literacy rate of below 25%. No one knows how to read. No one knows how to.
Below 25.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know it was that low.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that was like last data. I don't know what it is now with the Taliban taking over. But so the religious leaders, oftentimes the moms are bought off by the Taliban, and they're like, "Oh, blow those Americans up." That's, because you're told to listen to them, and you're told that that's the only person that will, tell you what to do and what's right or wrong. And we lost Marines in my platoon, in my company. It was gnarly. It was absolutely gnarly. And I was about halfway through that second deployment. We ended up having to do a reorganization of my platoon. So I went from being a first team leader to a squad leader. So I meant I went from having like 3 guys to 12. And I had teams and I had people that reported to me. And that usually happens when you're 6 to 8 years in the Marine Corps, not when you're on your 3rd or 4th year. And so when that change happened, I just saw the way things were going, and I kind of had this like vision of my future the next 20 years. And I was like, well, I left after my first daughter was born. I haven't met my second child yet. And I don't know if I want to do this for the rest of my life. And I'd accomplished all my goals. And
how would you say you accomplished all your goals?
I wanted to be a
your
squad
goals?
leader. I wanted to be a squad leader. I wanted to be a team leader. And I did it in 4 years. There's only one other person I know that's done it. And it's a friend of mine who actually sells insurance now. Shout out Clayton Blunt.
Clayton Blunt, what a name.
Yeah.
Hard name.
It's a hard name. But like, it was just me and him that had accomplished that. And, the military, what's cool about it is like you can go as far as you want, but for what I wanted to do, it was going to cost me everything. I wanted to operate. I wanted to do the work. And so since I had moved from a private to a PFC to a lance corporal to a corporal, I ended up picking sergeant in July. I got off active duty in 11, so I picked it up like 5 months later. Usually takes at least 6 years to do that. Had all the things. So when that happens, to stay operational, to keep doing the work, you either got to move over to a sniper platoon. Maybe you'll do some time there, maybe 2 years, maybe 4 years, or you got to go to like MARSOC. At that time, MARSOC actually wasn't even stood up yet. It was still called MSOB. That was actually when Cody Alford and all those guys were standing up MARSOC.
Yeah.
So you can maybe get 4 years there, but if you get promoted again, you got to be an admin guy now. You can't do the work anymore. And I'm like, I don't want to do logistics. I want to do this. I want to do the work. And so, the cost was going to be so high on my family. I wasn't willing to do it.
You have kids now too. It's like, and you don't get to see them. Are you worried about, I'll lose my marriage, I'll lose my family. So nothing of the risk to life, obviously, when you're out on the battlefield. Yeah.
No, and I have an incredible wife. She would do things that really kind of like really made me fall in love with her a lot more. She would send me packages about every week, and whenever we would have time to talk, she would actually ask me if there are people who didn't have mail, and then she would send them a package. Wow. And sadly, it's a lot higher than you would think. Like families just like fuck it. And really? And it's not even that big. Like she would just be like, what? She would send me tobacco, Q-tips, baby wipes, junk food, and People magazine actually. People magazine.
Why People magazine?
Dude, the fucking ground's exploding. I want to hear about Kim Kardashian's ass. Like, I don't want to hear anything. Oh my God. Kanye. Like, it's just like whatever. And like literally some of the hardest motherfuckers. Like I had this one guy who was in Kosovo. I remember him looking at me being like, hey, let me get that People after you belt. Like it was just like 5 seconds away from reality. And she would send stuff like that. She's put up with a lot then and now, and like has always kind of been this rock of like, someone that I knew I could lean on. But I mean, I've known since the first moment I met her.
Where'd you meet her?
Oh, when I meet her?
Where? Okay,
I met her at her cousin's house. So her cousin Luke and I were friends for a long time. I was a bad kid, and I was a bad kid, and I was kind of like crashing at their house now and then. And his dad was turning 50, and he was getting ready to go to Iraq in the army for his first deployment. So I picked him up from the airport, took him to this party, and it was this big surprise party. No one knew he was coming. This is like before Facebook and shit, where everyone was like, you know,
The good old days.
American soul, you know, like playing stuff. It's just like cool. And so we did that. And then Luke, God love him, couldn't talk to a girl to save his life. And I have disproportionate game to who I am as a person. Like, it's obnoxious, but like I had really tight game. All it is confidence that doesn't make sense. And
You're sitting next to Mariano Rivera over here.
yeah,
So.
look at him, dude. Look at him. I see you.
Nah,
Pop off. God forbid.
He's different.
Yeah, God forbid. Yeah, no. But I looked across the room and there was this girl I'd never seen before. And I had to introduce Luke to girls. I even had like a roster showing up for him. Like, hey, a soldier's showing up, a hero, you know, come through, hitting him on the Nextel push to talk, I think it was. But I swear to God, I think it was. That phone was so big, it was birth control by itself. But I went up to Luke and I was like, who's that? And he goes, that's my cousin Christy. She lives in Nashville. And I go, you got a cousin Christy that lives in Nashville? He's like, yeah. And I go, we have never talked about cousin Christy that lives in Nashville, dude. I've done so much for you as a friend. Where's this been? He goes, you weren't ready.
He hit you with you weren't ready.
And I go, yeah, you're probably right. I tell you what, though, I'm going to marry that girl. And I went over there and I hit some solid line drives. You're not going for a grand slam. I'm just trying to get on base, get a number, follow through. She couldn't even care less. she didn't know I existed. But at the end of the night, got the digits. 2 weeks later, we're dating. A year later, we were married, had our first child.
How did you know that you wanted to marry her right away?
All I can think to say is from the first second I saw her, I felt something I'd never felt before or since. And I just wanted to do everything I could to be the best version of myself for her and for me.
That's awesome.
It was like I got bit by something. And I don't know how to describe it. Everyone finds it whenever it's your time to find it. But I was just like, if she asked me to give her a mountain, I would give her two. Like, it was just
Thunderbolt.
I was just like, it just hit me. And we're coming up on 19 years of marriage now.
That's all. And through deployments and everything too.
Deployments, you know, me being a veteran, all the
Hanging out with me.
hanging out with Nick. Nick's
Going
fine.
on the road,
Yeah.
all over the place.
Well, that's been a change because it used to be, what are you doing, to now like, you get out there and you podcast your ass off. You know? Like she slaps me on the ass. Because like it used to be like I could hear her on the phone be like, I don't know, I think he's talking to someone. There's a fat day laborer in our house. I don't know. You know, a donut dude.
Zach's telling people about that time somebody fucked a donkey again. It's like,
But it's paying the bills.
Yeah.
working.
It's all right though. Things are okay. You know, I understand her concerns because it is coloring outside the lines, but she has allowed me to be the best version of myself and challenged me to be better, which is ultimately what you want, in my opinion, as a partner. You don't want a girl who's like, whatever. You want someone who's like, what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing?
Someone that makes you the best version of yourself.
Yeah, that's what true love is.
I've never heard it described better than in The Godfather, though, where they tell him you've been hit by the thunderbolt. And that's what that sounds like right there. You just can't explain it. You don't know why, but that's it.
No, I was just like, oh, all right,
Cousin Christy.
Yeah.
Wife Christy.
Yeah, that's the one.
That's it.
That was the one. And it's funny, too, because everyone, I shouldn't say it's funny because it sounds like I'm, celebrating people's failures. But everyone who was like, don't get married, don't do it, blah, blah, blah. None of them are married now.
Right.
Or if they are, they're remarried. And also in their defense, in my defense, she didn't have a stage name. She wasn't like most Marines marry strippers. Now, because of my age, it would be OnlyFans girls.
Right.
So why go to the strip club when you can do it on base, I guess. But I mean, most military marriages, so like we kind of break that statistic, but most of them shouldn't be married in the first place. Most of them are contract marriages. And, it's not the best category to win in, but I don't know. I love her.
Worked out for you.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
2.
That's awesome, man.
2 girls. Yeah.
How long have you been married?
8 or 9 years. I don't know. We've been together since we were 16.
That's awesome.
So,
Oh,
high school
long time.
sweethearts. Yeah. We didn't get married till we were 25 though.
You had to try her out for a long time? Or
I
she had
mean,
to try you out?
for me, it was like, she was getting fucking frustrated. I hadn't proposed yet, but it was also very much like I was in the camp of like, I'm not going to go to your dad and ask to marry his daughter when I'm a fucking 22-year-old kid that doesn't have his shit figured out yet. Like, by the time I felt comfortable enough to do that, I had already like owned a house. I had a mortgage. I had a full-time job. Like I had my shit together and I could actually take on that responsibility. So that's kind of why I made her wait.
That's very mature to think of that at that young age. Too.
Yeah, I grew up poor as shit. I'm not fucking around.
Good for you, man.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
you're kind of, you strike me as a fucking just do it kind of guy.
Yeah.
Can I hit the?
Oh yeah. Let's take a break. We're
Sure.
gonna hit the best.
Yeah,
We'll be right back.
I'm full of everything.
What's this fighting preacher video you were talking about?
Oh, that's the last video I did.
Who's the fighting preacher?
Logan Weston, aka the fighting preacher.
What
Probably
era?
like all of them.
All of them.
World War II, Korea, and Vietnam.
Oh, he did a world tour, if you will.
Yeah.
What's the story?
Dude grew up super poor, log cabin up in Michigan, Pennsylvania, bounced around a lot. He's like in his early 20s, 22, I think. Great Depression's going on. He's got a job working in a coal mine. Single guy. One of his best friends, his hunting buddy's got like a wife and kids, can't find a job. So he goes to his boss and he's like, hey, can we get this guy a job? He's like, no, I'm struggling to keep you guys employed. So he's like, all right, well, give this guy my job. He's a good dude. I'll give him my job so he can pay for his wife and kids. Next day, fucking collapse at this coal mine. His buddy survives, but a bunch of his other friends die. And he gets a job fucking being a logger, like a lumberjack. Working again, that coal mining collapse happens, and then he does the same thing again, gives his logging job to his buddy so he can pay for his wife and kids. A couple weeks later, logging accident, wipes out the crew, friends die. So he's like super depressed, beat up about it, feels like death is chasing him wherever he goes, decides he's going to take his own life, grabs a pistol, puts it to his head, pulls the trigger, click, doesn't go off. And like when he pulled the trigger, he heard somebody say, wait, gun doesn't go off. He looks around, nobody's there. And then he goes out and he like can't believe whatever happened. He's immediately, and I've heard like other accounts of this, like when that event does get stopped, people are immediately like thankful, have a whole new lease on life. Like they realize they didn't want to do it. He has that moment. And then he goes outside of his house in this log cabin in the woods with the same gun that he just tried to fire, pulls the trigger, fires into a stump, it goes off. Whoa. So he becomes convinced that, God gave him a second chance, dedicates himself to God, goes to Bible school. He wants to be a preacher. Goes off to Bible school for a couple of years. He's a junior trying to get his degree in theology so he can become a preacher. He gets drafted for World War II. This is pre-Pearl Harbor, but the draft is going on leading up to Pearl Harbor. Like the American government knows we're going to war. There hasn't been the catalyst yet. So they are already drafting people. He gets drafted, goes off to training. He shows up. This is 1940, early 1941, one of the two. And so he shows up to training and grew up in a log cabin in the fucking woods, dude. He doesn't know anything about the military. There's no TV shows. There's no books he's read. Like he doesn't know anything. He gets off the bus and they're like, all right, if you want to be infantry, go over there. You want to be artillery, go over there. You want to be a medic, go over there. You want to be this, go over there. He doesn't know what any of these fucking words mean. So he's like, I don't fucking infantry, I guess. I don't know. It sounds easy. So he fucking walks over to the infantry line, becomes an infantryman. Then gets out of training. He's kind of on Camp Shelby in Mississippi. Pearl Harbor gets attacked. And they just they don't know what the fuck is going on. So they station him out on the Mississippi River. And he's just like camping on the Mississippi River in case the Japanese fucking invade or something, or if they get attacked. He's out there for a couple months. They bring him back in. They ship his ass over in World War II.
Pacific or?
He ends up going to the Pacific. So cut through a bunch of bullshit. He winds up becoming an officer. He's a lieutenant. He's in charge of a platoon. And he's told they're about to invade some island in the Pacific. And he is told, you're the first guy to hit the fucking beach.
Is this Midway? No,
it's Guadalcanal.
Oh yeah.
So he's told you're going to be the first one to hit the fucking beach.
Jesus.
So like fucking, he's got the moment, like gets in the Higgins boat, fucking rolling up, the door drops down. He's the first one off the Higgins boat, falls immediately neck deep in water. Just like takes the wind out of his fucking sails, like cool guy moment gone. They get up on the beach. He's expecting enemy gunfire. There's nothing going on. He's like, what the fuck? He gets all his guys up on the beach. There's just dead Japanese dudes everywhere. Supplies thrown all over the fucking place. Like, what the fuck is going on? Apparently the Marines had already been there for like fucking 6 months. The island was already wiped out. Like Guadalcanal was already taken. And the funny part is if you go back and watch the Pacific, you see this moment in the show. Like the army guys are rolling up after the fact and like they're all nervous. Like they're racking their guns. They're getting ready to go. Like the army guys were told where they were going to be the first ones there. And then they get there. The Marines are like, what took you guys so long? Start raiding all their shit. So that doesn't happen. He hops into the next campaign in this island called New Georgia. Also brutal jungle warfare. It's basically Guadalcanal 2.0. Goes out with his battalion. His battalion gets cut off and surrounded for, I believe, 29 days. Completely cut off, surrounded. Yeah. He goes from like 180 to 119, loses a ton of weight. A lot of his guys get fucked up. They make it out. He goes back, regains some weight. They take a bunch of the other guys that are healthy enough again, go back out on another mission, gets caught, surrounded again. This time it's for 21 days. And the whole time this is going on, he's like functioning as a pseudo chaplain because they don't have a chaplain out there. He's like being the preacher. He's like counseling guys. He's an officer. He's helping them out. So he picks up the nickname Preacher, the fighting preacher. And he's just like trying to help these guys get them through it. He's also an officer. He's leading his men. But the second time around, they get surrounded. Like they know the game. They've done this before. And somewhere along the line, the first time they figured out the Japanese all have like sacks of rice for their rations. So now as soon as they're killing Japanese guys, they're sneaking out at night. They're grabbing all the rice. This time they've got some native guides. The guides are showing them all the tips and tricks. Like, oh, we can mix this bark from this tree. It makes it taste better. And we can eat these plants. And these guys are like doing Master Chef while the Japanese are like launching attacks. They just couldn't give a fuck less. They'd already been through so much. And ultimately they start running low on ammo. And the battalion commander's like, all right, you're the most experienced, patrol officer we got. Take one of these guides, probe around their line, see if you can find a way to get us out of here. So he takes this native guide by the name of Beatty, and they go out probing the enemy line, and they walk right into an ambush. Enemy machine gun fire lights them up, and they run, take off. They dive into the swamp. They're hiding in the swamp. They lose them. He gets out of the swamp. They start wiping all the mud off. They get all the mud off the native guide Beatty, and Beatty's like, he's good. He's good to go. He didn't get hit. They start wiping the mud off Logan. He's got a bullet hole in his helmet. Didn't hit his head. Went around the helmet. Lost velocity. He's got another bullet hole in the heel of his boot. Didn't hit his foot. He's got another bullet hole. He's got 2 more bullet holes like in his clothing. All the bullets missed him. And his wristwatch got shot off his wrist and grazed him.
God.
But he's fine.
That's God.
So Beatty, the native to this island in the Pacific, sees this and he's like, wow, your God must be really powerful. And he's like, yeah, man. Yeah, he's pretty cool. Yeah. And he's like, can I worship this God? Yeah. He's like, sure. Yeah. You just, accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. And, you can be Christian too, blah, blah, blah. And they say a little prayer together and okay, cool. That was great. Let's get back to the guys now. And Beatty, from his perspective, now is under the impression that he is immune to bullets. Oh, no. So he starts dancing and singing and making a bunch of fucking noise. And Logan's like, shut the fuck up. But he thinks he's fucking invincible now. What's he got to be scared of? So he gets through that situation. They make it back. He gets the guys out of the line, continues to fight. I'm abbreviating. This is like an hour and 20-minute long video.
It's a good abbreviation.
Yeah. So he fights through the rest of World War II and then goes back home, finishes his theological degree, becomes a preacher for a couple of years. And he had signed up for the reserves while he was doing that. Well, then they called him back a couple years later and they're like, we need you to go on occupation duty. You can either go to Europe or Japan. You can pick which one you want. He picks Japan because he wanted to see what was up now because he just got done fighting the Japanese. And
there were 2 bombs that went off.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if they're still holding a grudge. And so he chooses to go over there. But before he leaves, he requests that he becomes a chaplain now. It's kind of what he wants to do. He wants to be a military chaplain. He's got the degree for it now. And they tell him, you're too old. He's 31. You got to be 30 or younger.
To be a chaplain? I would think it's the opposite.
Apparently. That's what he gets told.
Usually
so he's like, well,
older.
Fuck it. I guess I'm infantry. So he shows up to Japan. He's got a wife and kids back home at this point. They're living in a trailer outside of like Fort Benning, I think. So he shows up to Japan. He's there for a little while, and then he gets a fucking notification one day. The North Koreans are attacking the South Koreans. Pack your shit. We got to go up there. He gets told it shouldn't take longer than a week.
Oh, yeah.
So he leaves all his personal shit in Japan, heads up to South Korea, technically, because this is the point where they had pushed the South Koreans all the way down to the very, very end of the peninsula, called the Pusan Perimeter, where they held out. So he shows up at the Pusan Perimeter. They're like, all right, take this platoon, go stand out at this fucking gate, and, if there's an attack, repel it. So he's out there with this platoon that he just picked up. Fucking bunch of North Koreans come rolling up with 3 T-34 tanks. And the T-34 tanks punch through their machine gun positions. They just drive right through it. And they get behind his position. He's up on a hill. So he radios back. He needs an anti-tank crew to come up here. He gets this anti-tank crew. They show up with a bazooka. He's got his guys up on the hill repelling the infantry. And he's got these tanks behind him. He takes the anti-tank crew. And he goes out, they run through these rice paddies, they sneak up on these tanks. They hit all 3 tanks, but they just take out the tracks to immobilize them. Mm. And before they're able to actually knock the tanks out completely, the one of the tanks hits their position, kills all the guys in the anti-tank crew, and he's the only one left. So he fucking starts firing rifle grenades at it and everything else, and he gets up on top. There's 2 tanks that are still operational, both on the ends with one in the middle that's completely knocked out. And he's like, I'm getting fucking shot at. There's nowhere safe to be right now. So he's like, the safest place I can be is on top of the tank. So he gets up on top of the first tank and they fucking open the hatch, drops a grenade, fucking closes the hatch, takes them out. The other tank guys start trying to climb out of their tank, shoots all those guys. Knocks out 3 tanks. And in the video, I pull up like the old newspaper articles. They've got drawings of like the fighting preacher knocks out commie tanks, blah, 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 from the era. And from here, they fucking pull him. He goes on a couple missions. They're still preserving the Pusan Perimeter at this point, just trying to keep a foothold on the peninsula. And he's basically put in an area that's deemed safe, because his guys have already kind of like been through some shit.
That's how it starts.
And they're chilling out there, and he's, everybody's just hanging out, basically camping, but they got their guns. And off in the distance, he's like checking everything on binos. They're up on a hill. It's North Korea. He can see fucking 20 miles out. He sees a formation of guys coming towards them. As they get closer, he's like, those are fucking North Koreans. So he sends a runner back to the headquarters tent a ways back, and he's like, tell him I got North Koreans coming. Runner makes it back. He's like, commander says they're not North Koreans. Well, they're constantly getting closer. He's like, tell them I can see their uniforms. They're carrying Japanese rifles. I know what a Japanese rifle looks like. I fought in World War II. That's what the North Koreans are carrying. Tell them they're North Koreans. Get some more guys up here. Sends the runner back. Runner comes back. They're not North Koreans. They're South Koreans. This is a safe area. And this conversation goes back and forth, playing fucking phone with the commander until the fucking North Koreans are at the hill and open fire. So he starts defending himself, winds up getting shot at the beginning of the firefight, gets all his men set up. They're fighting.
Runs. He get shot? Like
he gets shot through the thigh. Mm-hmm. He's losing a bunch of blood. So he runs back to this like aid station, gets a tourniquet put on, then goes back up with his guys, keeps fighting, takes out an enemy machine gun position that they were trying to get set up to wipe out his guys, leads a counterattack, and then gets shot, I believe, 3 more times. He gets shot through the arm. He gets shot in the chest, and ultimately ends up stopping this attack before he gets medevaced. He had a platoon, so like 30 guys, and they stopped an attack of 700 men and killed over 400. He was personally credited with 27 of the kills, 6 with bayonet, 1 with a trench knife. So he's so fucked up, they got to fly him to Japan to a hospital to go through surgery. And at the time, the standard operating procedure was if you're in the hospital for 60 days, they send your ass back home. Day 59, he gets orders to go back out.
Oh my God.
So he goes back out, and by this point, he basically shows up, and that's when they make the amphibious landing in Incheon, and they start pushing the North Koreans all the way back up the perimeter.
Is this before or after General MacArthur was fired? Like what point in the war?
He isn't fired yet. This is what gets him fired.
Oh, it got him far.
So MacArthur has the amphibious landing at Incheon. He's supposed to, push up the peninsula, take out the North Koreans. As they're approaching the Chinese border, MacArthur is ordered to stop short of the Chinese border because we don't want the Chinese getting involved. Like, we're not coming for them. It's communist nations. They're going to think that, we're trying to eradicate communism. That's why we're there. So he's ordered to, stall short of that, but he decides to push forward anyways. He pushes the forces all the way up to the Yalu River, which is basically the border of China. And that's where they start getting attacked. All the Allied forces, they bring in hundreds of thousands of Chinese soldiers. They basically have to do fighting retreats all the way back down the peninsula. It gets pushed back down below the 38th parallel again, and then they fight their way back up, and it gets stalled out at this 38th parallel. So he fights all the way up the peninsula.
Fresh out the hospital.
Yeah. All the way up the peninsula, all the way back down the peninsula. And then during... when they're fighting back down, they get pushed back down past Seoul for a minute. And there's another town right outside of Seoul. I can't remember. Suwon, I think it's called. Outside of Suwon, by this point, he's been promoted. He's no longer leading a platoon. He's leading a battalion. And he's kind of the role that you were talking about with the Marine, where it's like he's the guy that knows everything war. And he's telling the platoon elements what to do in this battalion. And the platoons that he's working closest with is Echo Company. And Echo Company gets fucking attacked by these guys up on a hill. And Echo Company is led by this crazy lieutenant that also fought in World War II named Louis Millet. And Louis Millet the dude likes combat, and he has heard that the communists are talking shit, saying the Americans are scared to bayonet fight. So he decides...
Show those boys.
He decides that he's going to lead the last bayonet charge in American military history and take the hill. And he got to oversee that as well. And then after...
That's so fucking cool.
At any point, was he like thinking about, because he's like a big Christian guy, owes his life to God and everything. He's just out here full blown Ben Stiller in it and fucking... That's what I'm picturing. Him on top of the tank like Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder. Like,
I skipped the Merrill Marauders part. It gets worse.
All right, well, let's keep going.
All right, sorry. Rewind. World War II. New Georgia. So he gets done in the Pacific. After he gets done with that New Georgia campaign, he gets a letter. So this is back in World War II. Sorry. He gets 2 letters. They're backdated 14 months. One letter's from mom and dad. One's from his fiance. First letter, mom and dad are getting divorced.
Oh.
Second letter, fiance is leaving him.
Oh, Jesus.
Then they come around and they're like, we're taking volunteers for a dangerous mission for guys that have extensive jungle warfare training. And he's like, don't have anything else to go home to. Fuck it. Why not? So they're all right, get on the boat. Okay. So he gets on the boat. They're taking him to all these different islands. He winds up in Australia. He's like, where the fuck are we going? Next thing he knows,
he's the weirdest Japanese ever.
Yeah. Remember, dude grew up in a log cabin in Michigan. Next thing he knows, he's in fucking India. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Culture shock.
Yeah. They start training for more jungle warfare in India. And then he figures out, like, oh, here's the mission. We got 3,000 guys, including you. We're going to walk from India into Burma, into the jungles of Burma. And you're going to go fight the Chinese while they're in Burma. Full on guerrilla warfare tactics. Your whole mission, prevent the Japanese from taking out China. China's basically cut off. We need to establish a foothold in Burma so we can establish the Burma Road to get supplies to the Chinese so they can defend against the Japanese. Because if China falls, Japan and the Nazis are going to have a direct highway between them, and that's going to be awful for the war effort. So we're going to send you 3,000 guys into the jungle. Just go fuck up the Japanese as much as possible.
3,000 guys to stop the connection of the entire Eastern world.
Now, the problem is they can't get supplies into China, right? So how are you going to get supplies to 3,000 guys that are trying to fight a war?
Airdrop them?
That's all they do. They live in the jungle for 7 months straight while they're getting airdrop supplies, conducting guerrilla warfare operations against the Japanese.
3,000 guys against how many, would you say?
Whatever the fuck the Empire of Japan had. And they were just in there wreaking havoc the entire fucking time. And I get into the different major battles they had, but this unit's called Merrill's Marauders. General Merrill was the guy in charge, and this would later go on to become the 75th Ranger Regiment. So this is the predecessor to the 75th Rangers. So these guys were functionally special forces at the time. And he was selected because of his experience inside of the dangerous mission, they ask for volunteers for another more dangerous mission inside the dangerous mission. Nobody volunteers, so he gets voluntold, you're the guy. He is the platoon leader for the INR platoon for the whole element. INR's intelligence and reconnaissance.
Mm-hmm.
So he's a scout platoon. So he's like 30 miles ahead of the rest of this element.
God, in the jungle.
In the jungle, moving forward. He's the eyes and ears.
Is that where they came up with long range?
That's LRP, long range reconnaissance patrol. That's Vietnam.
Okay.
But yeah, this is basically where this all stems from and starts.
Was he at the middle of that one too?
What?
Coming up with LRP in Vietnam.
Oh yeah.
Is that where this is going? He was the guy that invented that there too.
He didn't coin it, but I mean, he pioneered the shit, right? So, while they're in, he's in Merrill's Marauders. Fuck, lost my train of thought. My bad.
So he was going ahead 30 miles.
Oh, so he's ahead like 30 miles. So, and this is such a historic military unit, and they did so much shit while they were there. I had to like stop reading his books and doing research on him. And I had to go and read a book just on Merrill's Marauders. Okay. And Merrill's Marauders has a book. This is about 3,000 dudes. This is all talking about, here's this entire element moving through and here's what happened. Like they're not really talking about individuals. And he's just a platoon leader.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not important. He's not a general. He's not a colonel. He's not an officer. He's not in charge of shit. He's in charge of 30 guys. In this book, he's named 14 times. And on multiple occasions, his platoon saved the entire element of 3,000 guys. The official historian for Merrill's Marauders equated one of his actions to the Battle of Thermopylae and goes on to explain King Leonidas fought on his own soil. This guy fought on enemy soil in the jungle. King Leonidas lost all his men. This guy didn't lose a single guy.
Do we have tape of this guy talking, like being interviewed?
He doesn't even have a fucking Wikipedia page. It's fucking crazy.
Did you hear about him from that book? Is that how you found out about him?
I got an email saying you should look into this guy, and then I looked into it, and anytime I get an email like that, I just Google it. I was like, there's no Wikipedia for this guy. What the fuck? But the nickname, The Fighting Preacher, was so compelling that I just kept fucking digging deeper. He wrote memoirs later in his life, but they've been out of print forever. I finally tracked down a copy of his book and then like went back, pulled all the stuff I could find from like National Archives, his award citations and everything. And like I cross-verified everything. And it's like everything he says he did in his book, he fucking did.
And then I'm just doing math in my head. He was 31 when he went to Korea in 1950 or 51. So by the time Vietnam's popping off, he's in his mid-40s.
So yeah, so then he finishes up with Merrill's Marauders. World War II ends. He does the Korean stuff, gets pushed down the peninsula, oversees the last bayonet charge. After that, he gets shipped home. From here, he decides he's just going to finish out his career in the military. He's already been in long enough.
Yeah.
So he basically helps rewrite the book on jungle warfare. He's working at the Pentagon for a while. And then he gets, he's like, I hate this. I hate paper pushing stuff. I want to go back. So he goes out to brag, and he's like, I think he's 44 at the time. And he's like, I'm sick of having to walk everywhere. Because Merrill's Marauders walked. His platoon scouted over 1,250 miles of jungle.
Oh, my kind of guy.
So he's like, I'm tired of walking everywhere. I want to jump out of planes. So at 44, he becomes a paratrooper. And then they're like, hey, you want to become a Green Beret? He's like, sure. So then he becomes a fucking Green Beret in his mid-40s.
Oh, my God.
And then Vietnam pops off, and he doesn't talk much about what he did in Vietnam, but he was sent over to Laos as a Green Beret to be a technical advisor to the Laotians on how to combat communism. Which,
technical advisor.
You ever heard of Mac V. Sog?
I have heard of that. Remind me, though.
Yeah,
John
so
Struckermeyer.
Mac V. Sog was the Green Berets that were basically operating in Laos and Cambodia, waging a shadow war against the Vietnamese the entire time. Like the most dangerous fucking combat you could imagine. Super insane attrition rate. Like, I'm assuming he was doing that, but I can't verify it. But he was over there for his first 12 months, and then they're like, okay, you can go back home now, or you can extend for 36 months and we'll fly your family over here and they can live here too. So he flies his family over. Oh my God. He stays there for like the additional 36 months. And it's like, you know, you're bringing your family to a war zone. Like what
Your video's the top.
What do you do to make it up to your daughters and your wife when you bring them to, Vietnam during a war? Like, how do you make a kid happy? You buy him a pony, right? You get him a dog. They're in Southeast Asia, so he gets him a monkey.
Oh my God.
Spunky the monkey.
Spunky the monkey.
Spunky the monkey, because that's what this story needed. And ends up finishes out his career in Vietnam, brings his family and the monkey back home, keeps the monkey forever. And then goes on to become, I forget the title, but basically the campus religious leader for Texas A&M for 13 years.
After all that, still the chaplain.
Still the chaplain.
Oh my God. This is him, Logan Weston. Medal of Honor, Silver Star, U.S. military, man of God, and badass motherfucker.
Can you pull up my Instagram? There's a picture of him with all of his medals. So he got given the Distinguished Service Cross. He was supposed to get the Medal of Honor for repelling that attack of 700. Yeah. But the commander that kept arguing back and forth with him basically made sure he didn't get the that post. No, next one over. No, other one. Sorry. Other one. Right. There you go. That's all of his medals. The fucking shadow box that's as tall as he is. He's got over 200 awards and commendations.
When did this guy pass away?
He lived to be like 86, I think.
All right, so maybe like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an insane stack.
What got you into telling these stories? They're so compelling. I mean, you do so many of them across military history.
I started doing... the whole YouTuber thing, like I didn't do it on purpose. It was an accident. I told you I made a video about a grocery store and I got 12 million views. And then I was like, oh, well, I guess I should keep doing it. So then I made like a couple more videos and then, I'm just looking for any ideas to like crack jokes and be funny. So I made a video about how the Marine Corps is the craziest branch of the military. It's not even a branch of the military. It's a cult. And I did a little quick 3-minute video of all the little crazy shit they do. And people loved it. And they were like, oh, now do Army infantry, now do Army mortars. So then I started doing these little 3-minute videos on jobs. And then that kind of turned into like 5-minute videos on equipment. And then one day I just like covered one dude's war memoirs and people loved it. I didn't think people would want like a 40-minute video, but it performed great. And then I kept doing it. And I mean, over time, obviously you look for more purpose for doing something other than I enjoy getting views and likes and clicks. Right. And I think the purpose is just kind of turned into, we don't celebrate war heroes anymore. Like we used to have war heroes in World War II. Like you'd earn the Medal of Honor, you'd come home, you'd go on a war bonds tour. People knew who you are. You were a celebrity. Yes. We celebrated brave men for doing incredible things and being selfless. And we did it a little bit in Korea and then we kind of quit after Vietnam. I mean, the fact that, Barcelona, World War II.
He's from Jersey.
Like, you know what I mean? But like, there's no GWAT guys that have notoriety like that. There's nobody from Desert Storm. There's nobody in any of the wars that we like celebrate and hold up of like, this is the example of what you should and could be. And, I think it's extremely impactful, especially for kids growing up, having war heroes to look at and be like, I want to be like that guy.
Fuck yeah, dude. No, you're making an amazing point. I forget who I had in here recently, but this came up and I couldn't agree more. It's like, I don't have any problem. Like, I think it's great when, there's a great athlete or stuff like that and you look up to him, or you really like Daniel Day-Lewis as an actor and you look up to him. That's awesome. But like in society, I think like people who make the ultimate sacrifice and understand how the world works because they go over and see the things that we're lucky enough to not have to see here because there's guys like them doing that. I mean, you're telling me that story from a guy from 3 generations ago across 2 generations doing wars. I feel like I was fucking there. Like people should know. What was his name? Logan Weston?
Logan Weston.
Yeah, people should know that name. Like that's, I completely agree, man. It would be a great thing to look up to in society.
And everybody wonders why, like, oh, none of these kids take pride in being an American. Half these kids think America's bad or evil or whatever. And it's like, yeah, because you've never heard any stories of anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like America has so many heroes that have done so much incredible shit and nobody teaches you that.
Yep. Yeah, so. some of the I saw you guys did this too. I really admired that. But you guys had in a World War II veteran on Unsubscribe. Yeah, really multiple. Cool. He just passed away, right? Oh, we had a couple summers ago. One of them left like one of his Purple Heart, like I guess mementos here. It was really cool. But you're sitting there and you're like, these guys are 100 years old and they were just thrown into a situation when they're 18, 19, 20 and they had to figure it the fuck out. And I don't know. It's a strange feeling that you understand, but it's like the gratitude you feel that people were able to do that and pull that off, no questions asked, is pretty fucking immense.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. The cool part for me is like, I mean, I get tons of emails, tons of comments, but like some of the emails I get are crazy to me. Like I've had wives reach out to me and say that she started watching these videos with her husband, and her husband served 15 years in the Marine Corps. And she's like, I understand my husband better.
Wow.
After watching your videos.
Wow.
Or my favorite ones are, hey, my dad served in the military for a long time. He's passed away now, but he never talked about it. He fought in Vietnam or Korea or World War II. And the unit that you talked about that this guy was in, that was my dad's unit. I had no idea. I learned so much about my dad. I had no idea what a badass my dad was. Thank you. Like,
that's cool.
It's cool being able to show somebody like, oh, you know, to you, dad was just the guy mowing the lawn in New Balances, but your dad was a fucking badass at one point, and they went their whole lives never knowing that. And now they do. That's really cool to me.
That's really special. And I think, you know, you talk about how we stopped doing it as a society, like propping these guys up and everything. But like the U.S. military to me never stopped having amazing people in it or amazing talent and being badasses and stuff
we
like
quit
that.
caring because of money.
What do you mean?
I mean, the U.S. government switched over to fractional reserve banking, and they could just print more money to fund wars, and they didn't need to anymore. The reason the U.S. government was promoting these people was to bring them back to sell war bonds because they needed money to go fight the fucking war. And as soon as they said, oh, what? We can just print more now? Fuck promoting these guys. Who cares? I don't need, but you know what I mean? But that also, before fractional reserve banking and they could just have an infinite money printer, if you wanted to go fight a war, it had to be a reasonably popular fucking endeavor because you had to sell war bonds to fund the motherfucker. Right? Like how many people would have bought war bonds for Afghanistan? Guessing not a lot. Iraq, maybe. Mostly because of 9/11, but like
Iraq, they would have printed them. I mean, they were doing freedom fries and all that shit.
Yeah.
Then, yeah.
Like Iraq, they would have sold a bunch, but Afghanistan, they wouldn't. So it like, I think that fucked up all of society. It has a ton of downsides because, you know, at least you had the population backing the war.
Yeah.
And caring.
And now we fought a lot of wars over the years that usually just through like over time and not really having a plan, eventually like we have to leave and we lose or whatever. But what I always say with that is it's not because of the guys who are there that aren't capable. It's because a bunch of people in suits in DC who now have infinite money to fucking vote and print money for wars. It's like, you know, they make bad decisions and they play war games that they don't have the balls to go out there
they're not
themselves
allowed to
handle.
win. They're not allowed to win.
They're not allowed to win.
The Marine Corps could steamroll any country in the Middle East in fucking a week if they wanted to. Like I had an apprentice that had actually served 20 years in the Army, and he came in, got out of the military. He was my apprentice for a while. Great guy. And he would tell me stories about how like he remembers being in a Humvee on a 50 cal and they start taking enemy fire. He's got a fucking 50 cal and somebody with an AK-47 is shooting at him from up on the hill. What do you think he did?
Had to radio in to ask permission to fire back?
No, he had to tell somebody in the Humvee, hand me my M4, because he wasn't allowed to return fire with the 50 cal because it wasn't fair. Fuck that shit. Blow the fucking hill up. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
I didn't do that. But
shoot first, apologize later.
This is also why you don't know about Norman Schwarzkopf, because they probably fucking hated him because he won too quick.
Yeah, that's
he what?
He won too quick.
Oh,
the guy did the first goal for it. Yeah, like my deployments were in this weird space. Iraq, as it was coming to an end, as they were getting ready to shut down bases, was much more urban than everything else. And Afghanistan, when I was there, was literally the Wild West. Not long after I left, they started having, you know, drones in the air, these things called G-Boss towers that could see you, and they give their interpretations of interactions and things like that. Like we had a bigger gap, and I also want to say, like, I actually found the exact number of guys that we lost on my deployment to Marja, and it was 10 guys that we lost. And the only reason I don't say their names is because it's not my place. I don't know who all will hear this. I don't know where they'll be when this finds them. And I don't want to say anything that could, you know, cause any type of thing. But, you know, I just took a moment to reflect on it. You know, we lost a lot of guys, and because of that, so many other people had to step up too, and that included my friend Wendell, Archer, and Wilson, other guys who were put in these situations you can't imagine. And I constantly think about it now because my children are at the age to where, I was. And I've thought for a long time, like, did we win? What did it look like? Who did I fight for? I could have solved Afghanistan in 5 minutes. That's what I always say.
How would you have solved it?
I would have. So there's only one place in the world where you can actually grow and sell pharmaceutical grade poppy, and that is New Zealand. The other place is Afghanistan. It's part of the Golden Triangle.
Right.
So what I would have done is I would have paid pennies on the dollar more than the Taliban was to basically cut off their funding resource, then take that over and then harvest that and provide a legitimate economy for the people, because they weren't doing it because they wanted to. They were doing it because of the threat of death. And then that would have forced the Taliban out, cut all their funding operations, done.
And built the economy.
Built the economy, yeah. Like, it's not that complicated.
Now, does that get, to people at home thinking about this, like, well, poppy can be turned into heroin and a whole lot of shit. Can that get bastardized in a way that it turns into, like, ground zero for a black market? Like it did, by the way.
That's what it is now, and that's what it was. But, like, you could also wean them off of that. Like, if the long-term goal is to not have that, obviously you can change that. But if you're paying pennies on the dollar more than a war for 20 years. Like, I remember, like, we were doing a buyback program, and we would, like, go up to them. And this is like literally what I was ordered to do. They were like, go up and offer them basically 75 cents on the dollar. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that.
I have a question. What is winning then? I never. Everybody says America's hasn't won a war since World War II or whatever. Blah blah blah. Like, what is I don't. What was the winning in World War II?
What do you mean?
Like what did that? What did that look like? I mean, there's two arguments. One, we showed up in their country with guns, and they couldn't do shit. Two, we forced their government to sign a treaty.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, if the government doesn't fucking exist anymore because we overthrew it entirely, or it just never had one, what other options are there for winning other than we showed up, walked around your countries with guns, and did whatever the fuck we wanted the entire time we were there until we decided to leave?
Right. I think it's a matter of what happens when either we do leave or the shooting stops, right? So in Afghanistan, to look at a modern day example, it's like there's a badly executed pullout, obviously not the fault of the guys there at all.
Yeah.
And we left all the weapons behind. The guys that were in charge 20 years ago became in charge again. And there are people that felt like, wow, it was just time is a flat circle. Whereas when you finish World War II, you took out the Japanese emperor. You took out the Nazi command. You made them start a new government. You have a new problem with an old ally that now you have a Cold War with afterwards. But like effectively the moment of like the world's fastest growing GDP trying to start a forefront war and take over the world all at once with whatever his fucking ideas were, that was stopped. I would describe that as a win.
For sure. But then the question is like, so the hinging point is like, can we teach this group of people to rebuild a society that can be productive again? What do you do when you can't?
That's hard.
We shouldn't have ever left Afghanistan. That's it.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you
hard stop. We should have never left. There's a precedent. We didn't leave Germany. We're still there.
Right.
We didn't leave a bunch of countries around it. Vietnam, Korea, we're still there. Japan, we still have a Marine base there. Both of them have become world superpowers, Japan and Germany alone, in technology, innovation, society, because we were there to stop a power vacuum to being created. We should have kept a base in the north, one in Kandahar, and then one up in the north. I think around Bagram probably would have been a good spot off the top of my head. I don't really know that area that well. But, I mean, Tyler Vargas Andrews, who was on Sean Ryan, who's a very good friend of ours, Amazing guy. Tough as shit. One of the best people out there. When you hear the way he was hemmed up, and the way I wasn't, like, they had ID, they had intelligence, they knew what was going to happen, and they're like, no, it's not that. And like literally, I'm gonna steal this from him because I think about it all the time. He said it was like if someone filled this room with sand. That was what it was like, the amount of people that were trying to get through to leave. It's like it was unstoppable. And you see that, and you see the impact that it's had on that part of the world where things are you know, it might look good for the influencers they're paying to fly out there, but it's not a good place to go. No. You know, I don't care how much the Taliban's cutting you a check for to go rollerblading down the one road they have. It's not a place you want to be. But we have created another power vacuum in a very dangerous part of the world again.
Yeah, it's an interesting argument with the bases and stuff, and I could see a good argument there. But when they did decide to basically like get out, and now you're post-career veteran watching this who was there and fought battles and lost friends after to suicide as well. Over double. Since I left the service 2011, the first suicide was in November of 2011. Wow. And again, not going to name names. Yeah. It's not my place. And it just continues to happen since then. What's going through your mind when you watch them pull out in August 2021?
I was in a much better place personally, you know, because of a lot of things I'd done. I had started, you know, when I got out in 2011, I realized no one was coming to help us. And so I started working with nonprofits. I started trying to basically do what I do now, but I wasn't making a living doing it. I was the only guy who knew how to do the GI Bill. I was the only guy who knew about benefits, nonprofits that'll send you to ride horses if you want, or hyperbaric oxygen therapy, or you can put magnets on your head, whatever. I was like doing all of it, and I worked with a nonprofit for about 6 months, and I started like basically auditing and using anything that I could to make my life better. And I wasn't like, this will make me 100% better, but what if I get like 15 to 20%? You know what I mean? Like, what if I can start chunking together, patchworking, a path towards healing? And, you know, ultimately it's because of my wife and my community and the people I was surrounded by that put me in a place to where I was able to not have the impact really be detrimental to me. And about a month later, I went to Mexico and did psychedelics. I believe it was that year, or maybe it was a year later. I can't remember. It was either 21 or 22 when I did.
And what did you do specifically?
The thing that everyone talks about now, I did Ibogaine and DMT, but back when you had to lie about it and not tell people, we had to get medical exemptions on our passports, all these different things through an organization called VETS, which was a life-changing thing for me.
And it took, obviously, like, it helped you tremendously.
Yeah, no, it's one of the single greatest things I've ever done. Was
it immediate, or was it a gradual improvement afterwards? Immediate. Why do you think it was so immediate for you?
I mean, so Ibogaine is it's outlawed in America. It's because it has been shown to have 100% effectiveness in opioid cessation. It attacks all the addiction centers of the brain.
Can't have that.
And it basically wipes you clean. And it is not a fun experience. There's a documentary about it on Netflix called In Waves and War. It's the same organization I went through. Basically, it shows you all the good, bad, and all the things you need to see. And for like 8 to 10 hours, you're swimming in deep water with weights on and you're blindfolded. And I don't want to go too much into it just because it takes a long time. But like for me, what I kept seeing was a photo of my wife and 2 daughters, and it was like fuzzy and unclear. And as it got closer to me, like it would become more clear. And as it got closer, these moments of trauma throughout my life would kind of appear like on your camera roll of your phone. I would spend time with it and go back down in the medicine and come back up and purge. They say it's a physical manifestation of trauma that you're purging. And I hadn't eaten in 12 hours, and I don't know what came out of me, but something came out. And you wake up the next day, you're like trying to stand up and can't because like your brain's like literally brand new. And then we took a day, and then we did DMT, 5-MeO DMT the next day.
Whoa. What was that like?
They call it the God molecule for a reason. It takes you to the eternal, whatever people want to call it. That's where you go. And you know, it helped me to put all the like Ibogaine like gave me the pieces for the puzzle, and DMT put them in place. And that's crazy. That's probably the craziest thing I've ever done.
Was it the kind of thing where when you're forced to, I was just thinking this when you were describing the Ibogaine part, where you're forced to kind of see these traumas and live in them during that period, is it like, it's not just facing them, but then also like having you get like some self-forgiveness out of it, like it's in the past? Or
Yeah, I mean, it was a combination of like my life growing up through having, you know, an alcoholic father who's abusive and all the different things that come with that, and then like, you know, all the stuff that made me good as a Marine made me bad as a person. My ability to carry around trauma and compartmentalize it, just put it away in the rucksack, keep moving. Well, eventually it gets heavy, and I had been carrying stuff for too long, and I had not put it where it belonged, or spent time with it and understood it, or losing my friends, or what could I have done to be better? Could I have called this person, texted this person? How did I not know, you know, anything, stuff like that. And so, you know, when I did that, the ceremonies, it was unlike anything else. I mean, it's why I'm excited that the VA's working with HHS to fast roll it. I mean, we just talked to the Secretary of VA about it. They're literally laying out a plan. It's something I think really needs to happen.
What he said about Ibogaine was weird to hear.
What was that?
He had like he was kind of explaining it like he was also a chaplain forever, so he was like very much like not bought into the idea, but he was talking to like psychologists, and the psychologists were telling him like, I thought it was bullshit at first. Like, I've done research. They're like, this is legit. Yeah. And he had given, you know, this anecdotal example about how some people needed to actually have Ibogaine done multiple times because they had so many different issues that they had to work through that they didn't even know were like part of the problem. So like one dude would go in and, you know, hypothetically speaking, it wasn't just something that happened in his military service, but it was actually something that like happened in his childhood. And that first session only got him through whatever the issues were in his childhood. And then he had to do another session to get through the stuff after that. Yeah. And then it fixed him. So that was interesting to hear.
It's interesting to hear him take like a very clinical approach to it in a way where he's like, we can't just throw veterans to the wolves of this. The reality of it is not everyone needs that much. That's kind of like the highest level. It's bleach, right? And there's other psychedelics that have been shown to be just as effective: MDMA, ketamine, psilocybin, things like that. That's what you're supposed to do. I skip those steps. I don't recommend what I. Shout out to Jared Taylor from Black Rifle Coffee. He called me like the end of September and was like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "I'm mowing my yard." I was literally mowing my yard, and he's like. I'll never forget this. He goes, "Do you have a passport like a grown man?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have a passport." And he goes, "All right, you're going to go to Mexico in a month." And I was like, "How do I take off work?" And he goes, "You'll be fine." Because I was working with him at the time. He's like, you'll be okay. He's like, "I own the company." I was like, "Yeah, that was a dumb question. I wish I hadn't said that out loud." But he sent me and a bunch of guys down. And I was there with some dudes who'd done psychedelics before. Derek Carver's a good friend of ours. World champion powerlifter, has one leg. He looks like the thumb things from Spy Kids, minus a digit. So he's just a big fist. And we took the medicine. It's weighed. You're hooked up to an EKG. You have they drug test. You do all these things. You're under care of a doctor and everything. I'll never forget. I look at him and he takes off his leg and he goes, "Won't be needing this." And I was like, "Oh shit, this is about to be gnarly." And it just changed everything. And so instead of, you know, I don't want to seem like I'm stumping or like grifting or shilling whatever for administration. I don't like red or blue. I do like Doug Collins a lot because I've seen them take input from the veteran community and be like, "You're right, we were wrong." Or like, "Yeah, we should do that." I've never seen a VA administration do anything like that prior. Like he's like, "Yeah, you're right. We should look into this. I'm partnering with Health and Human Services to figure out how to do this." The end.
That's great.
As opposed to like, "Well, we'll see." Because most people take that job as like, whatever. It's like a career. Thank you. You served. Here you go. Run this thing.
You didn't quite make it to president.
Yeah. You didn't quite make it. You're in the line of succession. You know, a bunch of people got to go, but you're still up there. But, you know, he's a pastor. He just retired. From the military, and like he just wants to help. Like he went from having a really good life in North Georgia to living in a condo in DC. Not exactly a good trade.
Yeah. Also, didn't realize he was in the line of succession kind of threw me off trying to film a podcast for the first time with multiple Secret Service guys staring at me, not laughing at any of my jokes, even though they landed with everyone else in the room.
Yeah.
I get to the point I was trying to make these guys laugh, stone face the entire
That's
time.
how I
Couldn't
like
be
my
done.
Secret Service agents.
Yeah.
Nice and serious.
Couldn't be done.
No, it was funny. Apparently we were all inside, but the street was blocked off and everything. Like one of our friends was like, I'm just going to see my friend.
Wait, what? The street was blocked off?
Yeah. Trout, when he came in, he was like, there was just a dozen cars, apparently, a half dozen cars outside. So like,
well, they're not fucking around, I guess, since July 2024.
I mean, they're serious and like protect this man at all costs. But like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's, PTSD, people have a lot of meanings for it. They call it PTSD, whatever you want to call it. I don't care. I think when you come to the realization that the memory of who you were before the trauma is better than the reality that you are, it's almost impossible not to hate yourself. Because you can remember everything before the thing that happened, whatever it is, a car wreck, something traumatic happens, you lose someone close to you, you go to war, whatever it is, doesn't matter. And that's where that thing comes up. And, for me, I was just carrying it for such a long time, and I was kind of patchworking myself together and trying to help people. And that all led me to the Veteran with a Sign stuff, because I was like, what if I open source this shit? What if I call myself Warfighter and like I refer to myself in the third person? What if I wear the same thing every day? How would he look? Oh, he would wear this shirt. He would write stuff on cardboard, because that's what veterans do. He's a homeless veteran. Okay, what if I partner with companies that will help this? What if I get the word out? What if I talk about how June is Men's Mental Health Month? What if I talk about, this thing or this event, whatever's happening? And if I just keep doing this, maybe people will find out about stuff, because everyone's always asking me, Zach, how do you do this veteran thing? How do I get my benefits? How do I get counseling? Whatever. Why don't I just lean into that?
Right.
And that's literally what I did. Like that
was what, like 7-8 years ago you started?
2020, March. The first one I ever made. It was like the last, before the 2 weeks. The
2 weeks stopped the curve.
We stopped the curve.
Hey, it was 2 weeks in Iowa for real.
Yeah.
So I hear.
Yeah, Tennessee, it was a long 2 weeks. No, it wasn't. So it was like the week before. The young lady was cutting my hair at the time. We were trying to like spend money in the local economy. I went to her and I was talking to her about this idea, and she was like, that's a good idea. And I was like, will you take my photo? And she's like, yeah, sure. And so I went outside the barbershop. She took my photo, and it said, drink water, take Motrin, change your socks. And the caption said COVID remedy. Unironically, it would have worked. It would have worked.
You were early.
Yeah, I was a little early. But that's the most common thing people say to you in the military if you're hurt. Drink water, take Motrin, change your socks, right? And so I did that, and then I just kept making versions of that. I was talking about Tiger Kings, stuff that was like
culturally relevant.
Making like inside jokes about the military. And, for like the first 90 days, some people got it, some didn't. My wife was like, stop trying to make, your friends laugh, like 10 people laugh.
You're embarrassing me.
You're embarrassing me. There's always the embarrassing curve, right? There's they'll say it now, like, I always believed in him. But there's a few text messages you go back.
I don't mind being embarrassed. I don't mind being embarrassed in a new car.
But I remember there was this guy who got relieved. His name's Captain Crozier. He was actually here in New York. He had a vessel that responded when they had the what are they called? The medical ships. I can't remember what they're called, but there was a bunch of them.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
They were stationed right outside here, and he was trying to get help from the Navy, and they were actively suppressing his request for assistance. He's like, I've got a ship full of 6 sailors. We're trying to help with all these, medical ships. I need help. And the Navy's like, no, you don't. He's like, no, I really need help, blah, blah, blah. They ignored every single time. He eventually released it, I believe, to CBS. He then got relieved of his command. And as he's leaving the ship, which is the equivalent of losing a base, which is a big fucking deal, there's going, Captain Crozier, and the whole deck is shaking. Whoa. Like as he's walking off. And I saw this one video, it was on like Barstool Sports and all this stuff. They're like, Captain Crozier. And like, I'm getting chills even thinking about it. It's a great fucking video. And I saw that and I was like, I don't really do anything political. That's not really political. That's just a good leader. And I looked at Christy and I was like, hey, I have an idea. And I like wrote it down real quick, got her to take my photo. And at that time I had turned off all notifications on everything. And I was like, I'll just, have a ton of stuff to do. I'll give this a day. And I waited 24 hours. I got back on my phone and I refreshed it. And I didn't know this until that moment, but Instagram will only cap out your notifications at 100. I refreshed it and it was 100, 100, 100. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. I hit it again.
Add some zeros.
Yeah, 100, 100, 100. And I did it again. And every time I did it, it kept doing that. And then I went to my followers and I was like, oh no, we might have a problem here. Comments are through the roof. Things are going up. And then I was just like, okay, what do I do with this? And just keep moving forward.
Just ran with it. That's
just
awesome.
ran with it. And then, eventually you meet somebody, you DM them and you're like, hey, you do this thing, I do this thing. Cause that's honestly the hardest part is finding people that do the thing you do.
Is that how you guys met?
Yeah.
Through,
We
like,
literally,
DMs?
yeah.
That's cool.
Just it's literally like, how much do you charge someone for an ad? Or like, what's a company you should work with? Or is this even a company? Like, there's no one who's like, oh, I know this, blah, blah, blah. And so I'd met Donut Operator and Brandon, and then they told me about the podcast they had, and it was coming up, and they're like, oh, there's the Fat Electrician, and his videos are being sent to me on the regular, like all the time. The Marine videos, they're like, you should talk to this guy. I was like, who is this? Who's this guy? It's just, and then
It's a YouTuber now.
this YouTuber. No, it's just a thing where like you become aware of certain people in your space and stuff because, you are the company you keep, and we just all started hanging out. And then like slowly but surely, like I just started to realize like, all my friends are kind of like, the verses are different, but the chorus is the same. You know what I mean?
Yes. Absolutely.
And like, we just started hanging out like one by one by one. And I had a podcast where I was interviewing people on my page called After Action. And me and Nick had hung out several times. We'd done a bunch of, unsub adventures, different things. And he came in town and we just started talking for like 4 some odd hours. I don't know. We ordered tacos like halfway
That's
through
always
it.
good.
Yeah.
Tacos gets the people going.
Yeah. It was me, him, and Blas, who's also part of Underwhelming. And then he's like, that's probably the best one we've ever done. It was just good. Like we just really hung out. And then like we both thought about it. And then it's like, do you want to keep doing this? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, let's start a podcast. And he's like, what do you want to name it? And I was at his house and I was just like, Underwhelming. I was like,
So you're taking on another that's amazing.
oh,
How
he's
much you
fine.
juggle.
He takes on 20 to 40
I
projects.
got a lot of projects.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for you, man.
And then we just kept going. It's fun. It's like old dad, new dad, or newer dad. It's just kind of like us navigating life and trying to figure things out. And it's just fun.
Well, I think it's two things. I think obviously it's, you scratching the itch of like things that you're familiar with, the worlds you know, and there's a lot of other people from those worlds who are looking for, something they can relate to. But then B, like, you guys are like so representative of like the everyman out there. You think and say the things that people think and say, and they're like, that guy speaks for me. That's really like, that's the vibe I always got from like Unsubscribe, watching that from afar. Like it's like you said, it's guys hanging out and everything, but there's like an element of just like, this is just like me and my boys hanging out too.
Yeah.
It's really fucking cool.
For military people, I always say Unsubscribe is like the smoke pit,
The smoke pit.
right? Like it's where everyone gets around, rips a butt, and is like, the fuck was that about? Like, but because it's just boys hanging out, and they all have like a lane. Nick's history, Brandon's guns, Cody's cops,
Right.
Eli's streaming, everything, and it's just like, I don't know. And then it's kind of like Wish version Avengers when you look at it, because like they like made this universe, and somehow like I wound up a part of it. Like,
That's cool.
I'm like the Hawkeye.
The Hawkeye.
You're famous for the donkey story.
I am
You're
famous
our
for
Bert
donkey.
Yeah,
Kreischer.
what's the donkey story?
I can tell
Oh
it.
no!
Yeah, let's tell it real quick.
It's
Oh,
not
no.
quick though.
Well, let's go then. We got time.
All right. So first off, the first time I told this story, I've been talking shit to Nick for like a year. We're at SHOT Show one year, and Nick's like, "When you gonna come on?" This is my Nick voice. When you gonna come on Unsubscribed? I'm like, I've got the single best story. I'm only gonna tell it. to you and Joe Rogan. And you're like, okay. And he's kind of, he's like, don't tell me now. And like, this is also like at 2:00 in the morning in the Venetian. Like we're
hammered.
You're
just
out in Vegas, yeah.
dude, it was shot show. So we're like, I don't want to drool, but like we're exhausted. There's people everywhere. It's sweaty. It's a whole thing. All right. So my first deployment, a town called Garmser, right? And we'd inserted and we were trying to establish like an area of operations. And we're moving through like buildings. And the buildings over there are like courtyard style. So like your kitchen is an individual building and your bedroom is an individual building and so forth and so on. So like we finally found like one good spot. We're set up and I'm doing post. And like for anyone who doesn't know, post is you're just looking out a hole, rethinking your life, being like, holy shit, I really wanted to be funny in high school. Like, what am I doing here? Like you're just sitting there and we're all the Marines are in this one building because the rest of them were like either blown up or we had blown them up or they had blown them up. And so we only had like one good structure. So there's like 30 guys in there like laying on top of each other trying to keep warm. And I'm looking out a hole. My friend Zachary Group's looking out another hole. We're both on 240s down this main thoroughfare, like right in front of us. Crossover fields of fire, intersecting fields of fire. We're ready. Machine guns. And like we're saying like dumb shit. You're just trying to stay awake. You hit that spot where you're like,
yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You're like, yeah, dude, when I get, and it sounds like old timey, like when I get back to the world, things will be different. I'll see my gal. Like you're just like, it's not like that. Dude, when I get back, I'm going to get so drunk. I can't wait. I'm going to eat like fried chicken or whatever. You're just saying like, I'm going to start a business. I'm going to do this. He's saying stuff. And, we had told the people not to move around at night. We're trying to stop movement of the Taliban, all these different things. And we're trying to stop them from basically creating bombs. And we're like, don't do it, don't do it. We even put pamphlets out. Like I said, nobody knows how to read, so we just covered the area with paper. Like we just played it on the radio. We did everything we could. And so we're sitting there. It's late. It's really late. It's not that far. We're very close to the road. It's like from here to a little bit further than that wall. And we see these two military-age males and a donkey starting to walk down the road. And I call up to the post. I'm like, hey, COG, this is post 1. Roger. We got two military males moving from east and west and moving down the road. What do you want us to do? I'm on my way over. And he like comes over from the other building. He's like looking out of the hole and he looks at the hole and he goes, listen, they do anything. They do anything at all. You fucking smoke them. I was like, Roger that. And I hit the 240 and I'm like, I'm about to go to college for free. Right? And I'm there. We don't even need NVGs. There's no noise or light pollution there. If
Marines don't have NVGs.
We also don't have NVGs, right?
Cope.
It's a budgetary issue.
Cope.
Equipment makes you weak. Chesty Puller said that. Equipment makes you weak. Move forward.
Right.
So I'm on the 240. He's on the 240. And the COG, Corporal of the Guard's like, what's going on? I'm like, nothing. And they get like right center. So like me and group, like we're locked on. We're like ready. Because when they plant a bomb, this is very well known. This doesn't release anything. The way it works is like it's not a one person job. You basically get paid for what you're doing. There's one guy who gets paid to dig the hole. Another guy comes by, he puts the item in the hole.
Right.
The third guy gets paid to cover it up. Basically, so they don't want to lose like one go. They have like, oh, well, we still have the holes out there. We still have the bombs out there. Cover them up. So like we thought they would come by, just scoop some stuff or just drop some stuff off, whatever. We're waiting. And they just stop, and then like we're looking at him, and he's like, "What's going on?" I was like, "I don't know." They're just kind of standing here, and they're looking around, and then one guy goes to the front, and then one guy goes to the back, and the one guy goes to the front, takes the donkey, and he puts it like this, like he puts
in a headlock,
and like a guillotine. And he locks it up, and and then the other guy takes his shirt and puts it in his mouth, and he starts fucking this donkey. I swear to God. This is verifiable by every person I was with. I swear to you this happens. And I go, oh my God. And group goes, holy shit. And then people start waking up. They're like, what's going on? I'm like, COG. And he's like, what? And I go, you got to get over here right now. I don't say it over the radio because this stuff's documented. And he like looks through the hole. He's like, oh my God, he's fucking that donkey. By this point, every Marine in the room starts waking up and be like, what the fuck? What the fuck's going on? And so they start looking out of the glory hole, right? The first glory hole. And he's like, oh my God. So all of them are like, they're moving around. I remember guys are moving around machine gun barrels, be like, holy shit. Eventually called the lieutenant, like, sir, wake up. He's like, what's going on? I was like, they're fucking a donkey. They're fucking a donkey, sir. And it's like, no, they're not. And he's like, oh my God, they're fucking a donkey. This is a well-educated man, too. Fucking a donkey, right? And I was like, sir, let's kill him. And he's like, you can't kill him. There'll be blood and cum everywhere. So, this guy fucks this donkey for like a long time. Arguably way too long to be fucking a donkey, right? Because you feel like if you're gonna fuck a donkey, you're in and out. No, this dude, he was like slapping it on the ass, and his friend's holding it, and then after finally it stops. It just stops, and the COG is like, "What's going on?" I was like, "He stopped." He's like, "All right, let me know if anything else happens." And then I was like, "Roger that," and I look up. Then they fucking swapped.
Oh my God.
So, and that was the moment that I knew we're not gonna be able to teach these guys democracy. So yeah. So I told this story on Unsub. It's one of their most popular episodes to date. And so I tell this story on stage in Nashville. And the crowd just explodes, and it was the first time Unsub also ever did 2 shows back to back. So we do that, and then Nick looks at me. He's half in the bag. He goes,
"You gotta tell it again.
We're gonna act out the donkey story next time." It was his idea, and I was like, "What?
Who plays the donkey?"
Our friend Rich.
He hates it.
He hates it, but Rich was also half in the bag, and he's
Who's
like,
fucking the donkey?
"Both of us." And he's like, "I'll be the donkey." And so now it's an integral part of the show where it's like a leading up point because where Nick tells the story and then Nick leads into it. And he's like, "You guys want to hear a donkey story?" So I travel the country telling the story about 2 guys fucking a donkey in Afghanistan.
Your sweet wife loves nothing more than hearing 2,000 people scream and lose their fucking minds when her husband has to go up there and tell a story about 2 dudes fucking a donkey.
Yeah. It's all right. It puts up with a lot. It'll be okay.
Pays the bills.
It does pay the bills. It's just
God, that's incredible.
No, and it was funny because like for a while she was like searching my friends and being like, maybe one of them will tell me Zach's lying. And like they've all come to the house and been like, no, it happened. It was super fucking gross.
We're traumatized.
She keeps hoping it's the only time my wife has been like, I hope my husband's stealing valor. So maybe this is all made up and maybe it's all a dream. It's not made up. It's not a dream.
Sir, get over here. Where are they? I can't say.
Sir, well, but yeah, it's. Yeah, I mean, there's other stories. They're not like that.
That's next level.
Yeah,
I never heard anything like that before.
No, it's So that's when people are like, "Wow, what are the people like over there?" And I'm like, "I got a story.
Fucking donkeys.
I got a story for you."
We heard about some other fucking over there. It's not great either. That's been well documented on this podcast.
Yeah, it's very well documented. The guy who made a documentary about my deployment to Marja, his name's Ben Anderson. He used to work at Vice News. I don't know if he still does. But he also made a documentary called "This Is What Winnings Look Like." The trailer's probably the worst thing I've ever seen. I don't even want to say it, but basically it talks about the head Afghan police chief at the time says, I'm going to be vulgar, but it just is what he says. He says, this is the head of all Afghan police. This is the very intro to the documentary. Like, their rationalization and normalization of the behavior they do is beyond anything that I could even really understand. But yeah.
I don't know how you get that out of society because of how deep rooted it is. And like I said,
they also don't like homosexuality. They hate gay people. That is they've tortured, killed.
All goes back to, I had to go through this. You have to now too.
Yeah. Yes.
But I think there has to be, like all abuse, a strong power dynamic, and getting off on that power dynamic there beyond just like, I went through this, so you will too. And, it's not one or two guys who were in Afghanistan coming in here and telling me this. It's everybody.
Dude, they would try, the ANA would try and like be like, hey, we got to go talk to people. I'd be like, you're not fucking talking to anybody. You're stay over here. Stay right here.
Yeah.
And like, oh, no, we need to talk to, no, you don't. You know, I mean, there's tons of stories, of it happening.
An Army E6 that got
removed.
It was a like famous court case. This was years ago, but there was an Army E6 that beat the shit out of his INA like equivalent commander, and he got fired, and I
Fired
believe
for doing that.
I believe he got separated from the military because the official stance of the U.S. government was we need to respect their culture.
Yeah, he came in on them in a gang rape situation, and
Yeah.
he actually stopped it, and they punished him for it.
I've had people in here who went and stopped those situations and they didn't get punished, but that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, they were never allowed to be out of my sight. They were always around us. You know, our Afghan army counterparts, at least the ones we worked with. I didn't have any situations like that. I wouldn't allow anything like that.
Were you warned about that before you went there?
No, I mean, the first deployment, we didn't work with them, but the second deployment, they were like literally left seat, right seat. They were with us everywhere.
So how did you find out about that culture? Like they talked about it?
Without going too specific into it, we were working with some intelligence assets internal to the Marine Corps that just gather intelligence, and he would honestly teach us, this gentleman would teach us some of the things about their culture to like, he would literally be like, no shit, this is what happens here. And he would explain things to us because like you hear things and like you read things. And the only real cultural training we had prior to that was there was this like professor from like UNC Wilmington or something. She showed up at the Marine Corps, base theater at Camp Lejeune, and she was like, this is how you tell this from that. And she would like talk to our whole battalion, and she like played Aladdin and said like how none of it applied to like the Middle East. And I was like, yeah, we know. Like she's like, this isn't real. And I'm like, no shit, genies aren't real. Holy fuck. That's Robin Williams isn't over there. And I was just like, damn, they really make anybody a professor these days. They literally cut her speech short because it was just like insane. Yeah. But there is some cultural training stuff that goes into it. But like, honestly, like the majority of the things that we would do would like, my thing was like, I was always worried about the kids. In particular, the young girls, because like one of them, there was one I took a photo with in my first deployment, just reminded me of my daughter. And I gave her some Skittles once when we were walking by. I just gave her some Skittles, and her little brother came up to her and like started hitting her with a stick. And so I walked over there and I was like, hey, what's up, bud? And I cracked him in the head, and I was like, come here, John. It was our interpreter. I was like, you tell him that if he ever touches his sister again, we'll come back and he'll regret it for the rest of his life. And John's like, don't worry. And he's just like, bang, 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 boom. And he's like cracking his knuckles. And he's like, I told him, and the kid started crying. And so I gave the girl a bottle of water and stuff, because there's all sorts of things societally about them. Like if you interact with females past a certain age, they're outcast, all those different things. They're used as like property. That's how women are treated once girls become women. It's rough. And so, you know, and then you hear people talk about like things over here in America, and I always feel like I'm just putting on my grizzled veteran hat. Like people have no idea the things to which the rest of the world is societally. Talk about equality and stuff. Newsflash, no one's working as fucking hard as we are at it. Like we are winning in nothing's perfect. I'm not saying that. I would never be that fucking stupid, but everyone's like, speak of the devil. Everyone's like, you know, you have no idea, blah, blah, blah. I didn't get this. I didn't get that. It's so hard. And I'm like, I don't know, man. You ever seen a young child get beat because she had Skittles by her family members who treated her like she was less than? You ever seen all the different things that happen over there? And, you know, that's what's tough is that's what I think about when I think about, you know, people that are still there. I think about the ones that don't really have a chance at a life because we're not there anymore. That's why we shouldn't have left. We created a massive power vacuum, just a safe haven for terrorism and narco drugs.
And so many
trafficking.
people got killed too, people who helped out.
I mean, the best way I think to explain it is people like ask how bad Afghanistan is. I'm like, this is how bad it is. We're withdrawing from a country. We're leaving it. People are literally holding on to a fucking airplane that deep down inside they know they can't hold on to. But they're still going to fucking try as it takes off. That's how bad it is.
Yeah. I remember that video.
Like, that's that. If anyone ever needs anything, be like, is it that bad? That's how bad. They're willing to be. Maybe I can hold on to it. Maybe it'll land when we get out of here. Who the fuck knows? But I'm going to try. I'm going to try to hold on to this C-130 as long as I can because it's better than what's back there.
Yeah. Yeah, it still gets me. That one. But, I mean, Guys, we just did like 3.5 hours.
Oh,
We're gonna have to do this again sometime.
Yeah.
You guys are fucking awesome.
I was telling him he needs to do an Iowa run. We'll take him out to see PUV.
That would be cool.
yeah. You ever seen
love to do
PBO?
No, I've never been out to Iowa.
Dude's crazy. He can
in a good way.
He can throw his wedding ring in the air and shoot a 9mm round through it while it's falling.
Do we have video of this?
He has it in super slow-mo, high speed.
Yeah.
The first
You
time
gotta be born with something for that.
the first time I met him, I didn't know what to expect. I thought it was gonna be like a dude perfect situation. Like
Yeah.
you sit out here for 6 hours, get an incredible
Right.
shot done. He's like, pull your pistol. I pull my pistol out. He's like, shoot at a target. I go, okay. Ding. I shoot at the target. He's standing right here next to me. He goes, okay, shoot at the same target in the same spot. I'm like, all right, that's weird. What are you doing? I shoot at the same target, the same spot. He just wanted to see where my brass was ejecting. On the second shot, he steps back, kicks my brass into the air, pulls his gun out from concealed, and shoots my brass on the first try. And that's how I met him.
Dog.
Go to his shorts.
Yeah, go to shorts.
Yeah,
Dog.
go to his shorts.
Shout out to the boy.
Do popular? Should we do popular? Hit popular on shorts? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
The problem is there's so many.
Do one with a pistol.
Dude, hit your brass.
Do that one.
Yeah, that one's at the washer. Classic.
Wait, it just went off it. I think.
Yeah.
Go
What
back.
happened?
Go to. Oh, it might do that. Yeah, hit it, and then it might. Yeah. No.
Yep.
No.
That's one bad wife.
Anywhere's fucking sunglasses doing it,
Yeah.
bro. All right, so they're gonna eject the washer out from behind him.
Yeah.
Yep.
His cameraman's going to throw it.
Yo, that's some Spider-Man.
Also, while
shit.
filming, shout out Dalton for throwing it and filming all at the same time.
That's Spider-Man shit. No. No fucking way.
Yeah.
Bro. Is that AI?
No.
I've seen him do it
I've seen him do
in
it
person.
several
It
times.
didn't even fucking touch it.
Yeah. Nick, didn't he buy the slow motion camera just to counter all the comments?
Just to do
saying-
this shit. Yeah.
Because people didn't believe it.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I would love to come see that.
Me and him outdid Mythbusters in an afternoon. Like it's crazy.
mean, this is Jesus of guns right here.
Show another pistol one where he's just fucking tearing it up. Do that one far left. That one.
How do you slide?
Oh,
do you
yeah,
slide
yeah.
moves so early. Okay. What the fuck?
It's a lot better with sound. With sound, it's
Oh wait, we gotta take it off because
Yeah, you have to take the sound out, yeah.
Let's mark that because it's copyrighted. But I mean, I can see it with this. That's just like that looks like some dude, some kid in his basement who's played Call of Duty nonstop for 11 years. Except this is real.
Yeah.
And then what's he doing now?
He's
just
gonna-
beating it up.
Yeah. He's
Just
like,
beating it up,
beating
just
up
to
the
prove he
gun.
can do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yep.
He
I
gets
want to come out and see
his
this.
videos on YouTube get demonetized a lot because you're not allowed to shoot machine guns and have the video be monetized. But he's not shooting machine guns. He's shooting semi-auto guns,
Yeah.
and he just is able to fire that fast.
Yeah.
There you go, YouTube. See, monetization followed. He's firing semi-auto guns, not a machine gun. He's just God. Wow.
So
Up to a shirt. That's hilarious.
I never really had any pistol shooting in the Marine Corps at all. He's so good at it that the first time I shot, he was like, "Hey, do this with your hand." And like every time I'm around him, I've probably become a better pistol shooter by like 50%. And he could even like one time he turned around, he's like, "Hey, you're squeezing too much with your left hand." I was like, "Were you even looking at me?" He's like, "Nah."
Can he bend a bullet?
If anyone can do it, it's him.
Anybody can. It's
him.
him.
Yeah, I gotta come see that. I would love to see that. That's crazy, bro. That's some next level shit.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, we're
Motion.
going to link all the channels and everything down below. We got Fat Electrician, Veteran with a Sign. We also got the Underwhelming podcast. We'll
Yes,
put
sir.
Unsubscribed podcast down there as well. What else are we missing?
That's it.
That's
I think,
it.
man.
All right,
Yeah.
cool. Well, thanks so much for coming out.
Yeah,
It's
man.
been awesome.
Absolutely.
We got to do this again sometime.
Yeah, yeah.
For sure.
It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Everybody else, you know what it is. Give it a thought. Get back to me.
Peace.
What's up, guys? Thanks so much for watching the video. If you have not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button before you leave, as well as leaving a like on the video. It's a huge, huge help. You can join my Patreon via the link in the description, and you can also join my clipping community via the Discord link down below. See you for the next episode.